Hello, everyone. My name is Ozmourn, and I hope you all are having a wonderful night tonight. You can see that I usually have face cam on, not today. We have a little bit of a limited setup because we're prepping in the studio for SGDQ, which is coming up just this Sunday, if you could believe it. My goodness, time flies. But we still have a few more hotfix shows here for you here in GDQ Hotfix, which we had a wonderful run of Doom 64, The Unmaking here by Zello, and the perilous paths will continue. All of the paths we're taking today are very perilous still. We're starting off with an absolutely amazing run of an amazing game that came out last year, and we're making it even more dangerous with a hitless run of Hollow Knight Silksong. The theme for today's episode is, of course, the 2D Metroidvanias, as you can see. Hollow Knight Silksong into Animal Well into Super Metroid, a very nice lineup. Three really hard-hitting games, hard-hitting speedruns too, in the 2D Metroidvania genre. But with that being said, we will be going straight into this run here with Hollow Knight Silksong, any percent hit nice by the one and only Upper Casserole. So please, Casserole, take it away.
All right, hello, welcome in everybody. As our host so graciously introduced, yeah, this is Hollow Knight Silksong. This is going to be not exactly a speed run. For context, I do lots of speed runs, but I do also dabble in hitless runs, and that is what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be attempting to beat this game any percent without getting hit a single time, without taking damage from anything. So yeah, that's that. I am joined on comms by Stackwin. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Stackwin. I also go by Stacy, so Cass might call me that. Don't get confused. And I also do hitless runs. I don't speed run, so I'm not gonna have much information on that front. But
it's all good. All right. With that, we can get started with a new game here. We're gonna get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck and have fun.
Thank you. So this is Hollow Knight Silksong. This is a 2D Metroidvania that was released just last year, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it's sort of, I guess, is said to have like Souls-like elements. It's a very difficult game. Everything in this game deals contact damage, so even just brushing up on any enemy is going to get us hits. And we're going to try and do it hitless. So we're going to try to not get hit by anything. As we just sort of sit through the intro here. Yeah, this is Hornet, our protagonist. She's just been kidnapped to the land of Farloom, and we're gonna go try and find the people responsible.
Nice. Casserole. I am curious. I know for a fact that I have a lot of people, a lot of friends. I've not played this game myself, and a lot of them, when they first played the game, they thought like a very common complaint about this game was its difficulty. Feel like people expect them. The game kind of expects you to play the first game before you have played this one. It's not necessarily the most beginner friendly. So my question to you is, what made you take a really, really difficult experience and say, like, I want to make it harder and do hitless runs?
I was just a super big fan of Hollow Knight to start with. Like, I have a million hours in that game. I did tons and tons of speedrunning in that game, and then that was my first hitless game was Hollow Knight hitless, which I very much enjoyed. And so yeah, I do definitely think that Silksong is like a very difficult sequel. Like I feel like I'm very much like sort of the target audience is like the person who put like thousands of hours into Hollow Knight, because this game just builds on it and is even harder and whatnot. But yeah, I just love it. The art, the music, everything, the gameplay is all really top notch in this game. Also, rip Dave. Dave was that roly-poly enemy that we beat up at the start of the run. We beat them up for shell shards, which is basically sort of like an ammo. There's a consumable system in this game, and that's what we need the shell shards for. What is interesting though is that it's not necessary to beat up Dave, and that's one thing that I find really interesting about hitless runs is that sort of you can kind of do your own thing a little bit. I feel like in speedrunning, everyone is like a little bit too attached to like the optimal route. Whereas in hitless, I feel like a lot more people sort of do their own thing. Stacy, for example, does a much different route through the entire game than what I'm going to do here, and like most everyone has slight differences to their routes.
Do you? I understand that you told me that you've done a successful hitless run before. Do you think that at a certain point when it comes to hitless runs, if you've done enough of them, that it kind of turns into a speed run more than a challenge run in of itself? If you already know that you can like do the challenge portion of it.
Maybe. I mean, I know there are some people who do some like hitless speedruns. I'm gonna hold that thought as this boss is actually terrifying.
Please take your time. Take your time, folks.
This is a deceptively difficult boss to do hitless, but there is a quick kill that you can do on her that it looks like, oh,
Not quite, but
Cass
close.
just missed it, basically, yeah.
Okay, good enough.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, this boss, their movement is like 100% scripted if your damage output is like consistent. Then they'll do the same thing. Like if you deal damage really, really quick, I think they have a bunch of attacks that are based on like HP thresholds. So if you just do like the pure like speedrunner strats, it's very consistent. But as soon as you miss an attack, it just goes to hell. It can get very messy really fast. Fortunately, it's right at the start of the run, so you know it's like a common reset point, I guess. But
Yeah.
we're through it there. All right. So Hornet's not feeling too good. Oh, we got hit. We got hit in the head several times. Dang it. Run invalid. But yeah, we've been sapped of our strength, so we're gonna, you know, in Metroidvania fashion, start collecting our abilities back. I guess what else can we talk about? So interface-wise, I guess you can't see it right now. We're in a cutscene. But in the top left corner of our screen, there's our health. You can see there's 5 masks. That's our HP, which hopefully will never be going down, as this is hitless. Below that, there's a bar that is full. It has like 9 little notches in it. That's our silk meter, and that is basically mana. We can spend it for silk skills, which we don't have any silk skills yet, and we can also spend it to heal, which we'll hopefully not be doing. You can see I'm doing these sort of jump dives. This is kind of speedrunner movement. I don't do it very well, though. Like, optimally, you would do this much lower to the ground and much faster, but I don't really... Like, it's tough on the hands, and it's just sort of tough to do in general, so I just sort of do it at my leisure. This is obviously not exactly a speedrun. Though I do, like, use a lot of, like, speedrunner strats in my runs, as they are often very consistent, although not always, I guess. Obviously, speedrunners are willing to take damage to go faster, but in a lot of cases, they also don't want to take damage and have strats that are consistent. We're taking a short detour here for some rosaries. This is currency in this game, which we're going to be spending on a bunch of upgrades later. Stacey, do you want to talk about this skip?
Yeah, so this is our first skip that we're going to be doing in this run. We're going to do a couple, and we're just going to lure this little beast fly. Wow, he's not behaving. I've never seen him charge there before.
Yeah, no kidding.
So yeah, we just have to lure him up onto the platform up above. And then we'll be bouncing off his head to reach this ledge up here that we can't normally reach.
Nice. Yeah, that actually saves like a couple of minutes, really. Like, it saves us a full arena. It's not really a sequence break. Like, we could reach this area of the map, like, without doing the skip, but it just saves a ton of walking. It's really, really nice.
A lot of slow walking, because we don't have much movement.
Yeah, we really want to get back the ability to run as soon as we can, but that'll be in a little bit yet still. Here we see Chakra, map wife. She sells us maps, which we are not interested in this run, but we love her anyways. Oh, we got the double Pushanka. The run is blessed.
Let's go.
She'll give you a random like text line or dialogue line when you leave, and if you get a Pushanka, it's blessed. Hitless runners aren't superstitious at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
That room was actually a really scary room. Those
it really is,
guys that
actually, yeah.
spit moss at you, they're scary.
Especially casually. Like, it's not obvious that you can
Yeah.
slash the projectiles out of the air, and without that knowledge, like, I don't know how you're supposed to get past that guy. Like, it's
Yeah.
actually
The
ridiculous.
amount of times that I got hit there casually, just trying to get up on that ledge.
Another short skip here. This one only saves like a couple of seconds, but we can poke at that enemy. So we make it up here for our first skill. This is the Silk Spear, which is our first silk skill. So it uses 4 silk from our silk meter. We fill up our silk meter by hitting things with our needle, by the way. And it's a pretty useful attack. It's a big AoE thing of damage in front of us. It deals like 3 needle slashes worth of damage, so it's pretty strong. And we're going to be rocking it for most of the run. I'll demonstrate it right here to get through this thing. But yeah, it's a big ol' AoE thing in front of us. Really useful against like multiple enemies.
And silk skills are really great in a hitless run because we will ideally not be healing at all, which is the only other reason we would use silk, so.
Okay. So we're coming up to our first, or our next boss, I suppose. This is the Bell Beast. They're our friend, but they've been cooped up all day, so they're a little bit antsy. I didn't get full silk there. I think this is fine? Question mark? I may have messed this up already. We're gonna try to get a quick kill here. We're gonna try and skip the second phase. That's 4 hits, so I'm very carefully counting damage here. I need 4 more hits. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I'm gonna be a silk short. Dang it! I didn't get enough silk at the start of this fight, so we're actually a silk short from getting the kill here. So now we have to sit through this phase, which is a bit annoying and kind of dangerous. They're literally 1 silk spear away from death.
While we're sitting through this extra phase, you mind if I read out an announcement real quick?
Sure.
Yeah. I just want to remind folks about SGDQ. Summer Games Done Quick happening this Sunday, if you could believe it. Summer Games Done Quick 2026 will be live in Minneapolis, Minnesota from July 5th to 11th. Visit gdq.gg to learn more or register for the event. You can check out the schedule at gdq.gg/schedule. Now, please, if you plan on registering and you have not registered yet, if you do not register before the event starts, the registration will go up. It's at 175 right now. It'll go up to a bit over 200 if you wait until the event begins. So if you want to get your registration in, get it in now. With that being said, if you even have any interest in going, please do. It's really good. I'm going to be there. If you like the show, please let me know. But with that being said, right back here to the run here now, Casserole, I do have a question. Is there a specific part of the run when it comes to the hit list part, I guess, the hitless aspect? Is there a specific part of the run that you absolutely like dread, that you are absolutely dreading looking at right now?
Yes, there is.
What might that be?
It's a High Halls Arena, of course. And literally, as soon as I say the words High Halls Arena, literally every single person who's played this game knows exactly what I am talking about. It is like incredibly infamous section of the run. Sorry, Stacey, go ahead.
I just wanted to point out that canonically, the Bell Beast has a really thick shell and enjoys being hit with our needle.
That's true.
That's considered petting. So what we just did essentially was petted her until she calmed down.
Facts. The developers of the game have like explicitly said that. So yeah, we now have the Bell Beasts. They're our fast travel mechanism. They're going to be used a couple times to get around. Wow, that bug usually doesn't fly after me. Okay, we're going to beat up this spider. Here's some extra rosaries. Also, right there, what I did, and I've been doing it a couple times with the Silk Spear. We're doing like I'm not even sure what the tech is called. I guess it's sort of like instant Silk Spear. But ordinarily, if you slash your needle and then try to do a Silk Spear right away, there's like a big delay where you just like can't use the Silk skill. But you can reduce that delay by changing the direction that Hornet is facing. So almost any time you see me using a Silk Spear, I am actually slashing and then turning around and then turning back around, so I'm actually facing the right direction, and then Silk Spearing. And it makes the Silk Spear come out like literally like a full quarter of a second faster. It is very helpful in a lot of spots, including like against that spider that I used it on, because otherwise I literally would have gotten hit by them. But yeah, this just like isn't really explained. It's just sort of a speedrunner tech that is very, very useful.
That was something that I didn't know for a long time into doing my runs, and I was like, Cass, how are you like not getting hit doing this? I don't understand. I can't make it work. And he was like, do you do this? Yeah. And then everything changed for me.
It's true. Yeah, I think you were like not getting the fast cycle on like the ant arena or something.
Yeah,
like,
it was the ant arena.
How do you get this ant before they go underground? It's like, are you doing the turnaround thing? What turnaround
what
thing?
Turnaround thing?
You can also speed it up by like landing on the ground. So if you like slash when you're in the air and then like touch the ground and then Silk Spear, it'll also be quicker. But yeah, as you can see, we're just taking a bunch of detours here to get a bunch of rosaries. The economy in Farloom is not good. We need every scrap of rosaries that we can get our hands on. Fortunately, there's a lot of caches hidden around in the early game. But yeah, if you're used to Hollow Knight, I don't know, I feel like Geo, which is the currency in that game, is just like so common. You can get Geo absolutely heckin' everywhere. But in this game, they're just a lot more stingy with the money.
Yeah, I think a big difference is the two things that you can get from enemies with the rosaries and the shards. And the rosaries only come from like the people bugs and not the creature bugs, whereas the Geo came from everything you killed in Hollow Knight.
That's true. Alright, another enemy pogo for a short little skip here. This one, again, only saves a couple of seconds, but not particularly dangerous. We just bonk that guy in the head. Get up here a little bit quicker. This room is low-key scary. These guys right here are not friendly. They can jump very weirdly.
They'll turn around at any moment.
Yeah. Also, the ground is hot. We need to not stay standing on it for very long.
You know, it's funny. I asked you what part of this run do you dread the most, but I feel like if it were me, I would be dreading the entire run as I'm doing it every single time. It's way too anxious of an experience for me.
Yeah, I mean, you get used to it. Like, yeah, I don't typically get super nervous in hitless runs anymore. Okay, this arena we're basically doing the speedrunner strat, I think, or at least... Oh, really? That's super rude. That hasn't happened in a long time.
Ah, that's unfortunate.
Ugh. But yeah, that's basically the speedrunner strat for that arena, which is quite consistent. That ant hasn't gotten me like that in a long time, but can happen, unfortunately. All right. I really enjoy this next power-up. So the way we're getting these power-ups, these are like ancient spider shrines teaching us ancient like spider techniques. And this one is the ability to run, which is apparently an ancestral spider art that no other bugs know how to do.
Yeah, and turns out if you fall from a great height, even if you are a spider, you have to learn how to run again.
That's true.
That's what you're saying. I have a question generally about the rulings when it comes to this run. What exactly counts as damage or like as a hit?
Basically anything that reduces our masks in the top corner. We're gonna rescue this flea here. Woo! That actually does absolutely nothing for the run. We're not gonna. It is possible that you would route in rescuing 5 fleas. That has some value. We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna rescue the one.
It's for good luck. It's for morale.
Yeah. Sorry, what was your question again? I've already forgotten.
What counts as a hit?
Oh, yeah, what counts as a hit? What counts as damage in this game?
I mean, yeah, it's basically just anything that reduces your masks. And then there's like a few caveats to that. Like there are dream sequences where you don't have an HP bar, but if you like fall into the void, that also counts. I think that's about it. I guess there's like the enemies that like muck you, but they don't actually deal damage. I think that counts as hit per team hitless rules. But yeah, I'm not sure. Stacy, I don't know if you know the hitless rules in detail, but something like that.
I'm not sure about the muck because I don't deal with that in my run.
Yeah, I mean neither do I. But yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes, I'm not familiar with like how like team hitless does things, where it's just like, is it like in-depth rules for like hitless in a specific game? Like
Yes.
if there's like enough attention for it, of course.
Yeah, so yeah, team hitless is like the sort of the de facto standard official source of hitless. Like it's where all the leaderboards. It's where all like the hitless runs are stored. And they do have just like very detailed rules for every game. Well, we fell. That's fine. So we just did that arena. That arena is actually kind of spooky, and we did it to get access to Forge Daughter here. So this is just a shop. You wouldn't see this in a speedrun or in an 90% speedrun normally, but they just have some super good items that we're going to be purchasing. So we're going to get the Sting Shards, which is basically just like the best hitless tool. Well, I think like literally every single hitless runner grabs it. And then we're also going to get a tool pouch, which is going to increase our tool damage as soon as I crack open these rosary necklaces. Okay, so with that we have some tools. These are basically our consumables that we were talking about earlier, so I can spam these. We only have 6, and they'll refresh every time we sit at a bench. So we can't just spam them, and then they consume shards, which we only have a limited amount of, but for our purposes we have enough. Alright, this is Lace. I will let Stacy talk about Lace as I try not to get hit.
Sure, so this is, I suppose, I guess, our Hornet equivalent in this game, what Hornet was to Hollow Knight. She is kind of shockingly difficult to hitless. You can't really get up in her face like you can with a lot of other bosses, because she will just turn around and smack you. But as long as you sort of keep away from her and only attack after she's done her attacks, should be pretty safe. But it's a little slow.
I almost got the lava dunk. Oh well.
Yeah, if you manage to dunk her in the lava on her stagger, then it does a bunch of extra damage.
Yeah, it's like quite an absurd amount, isn't it? Like 80 damage or something. I want to say it's around there, and your needle
like
deals
that,
5.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure speedrunners will actually like count hits, because she staggers. I don't even know what her stagger value is, but she staggers after a certain number of hits, and you want to stagger her into the lava because it saves a bunch of time. I've never bothered to learn it, but yeah, you can save some time in that
40
fight.
damage per dunk, says chat.
That was a 40. Fair enough. Chat is never wrong. With this is,
Everyone knows chat has never been wrong about anything ever. I trust chat implicitly.
Into Farfields, we're gonna come over here to get our next ability, which is the Drifter's Cloak. If you were to down patch your game, Drifter's Cloak is not required to finish the game in any %, but on latest patch it is, and we are playing on latest patch. Down patching is allowed for hitless. I've always been a latest patch runner, so absolutely necessary to grab this power up.
Also, I don't know if any hitless runners would want to do a cloakless run, because that
Yeah, cloakless actually sounds completely terrifying.
Yeah, really dangerous.
But think of like the 20 seconds you could save.
Right.
Hour and
the
a half
whole
hitless
20
run.
seconds.
Yeah,
Hey, 20 seconds in speedrunner time is like a million years.
that's true.
So.
But yeah, the speedrunner leaderboard is separated between cloak and cloakless. So, you know, you can. Did I bench? Let me just bench again to double check, because it's really bad if I don't. Benches are sort of our save quit location, so if I save and quit the game, I'll respawn at that bench. So I need to make sure I actually sit there. Okay. But yeah, that was the Pinstress. She has sent us on a quest to collect Hoker spines, they're called. So these sort of balloon enemies that we're about to see. This guy right here. We need to collect the spines. So we need 25 of these, so I'm just going to be resetting this room for a minute or so. There are actually a bunch of... yeah. There are a bunch of like really cool speed runner strats for farming spines really quickly, but they're a bit scary, so we just sort of do it slow and steady. As again, not a speedrun. You could say we're taking the scenic route. Oh,
We are taking the scenic route in more ways than one, I will say. And I will say here, before I do a quick question, I do just want to remind folks that if you're watching GDQ, we want to hear from you. Gamers Done Quick is looking to learn how you watch speedruns the most. If you have a few minutes, visit gdq.gg/survey and let us know what you want to see. Also, !survey in chat as well. So we got a survey to see what you want to see on GDQ Hotfix. But with that being said, I am curious as to what exactly got you in. Of course, not just to Hollow Knight and Silksong as games in general and their communities, but what about them specifically made you want to run them as hitless? Had you done hitless before Hollow Knight or Silksong? If not, what about this game made you want to kind of dive headfirst into that?
I mean, I was just in love with Hollow Knight. Yeah, so Hollow Knight was my first hitless game, and I had just like done a lot of speedruns in Hollow Knight and really fell in love with the game. And I sort of on a whim, I was just like, I wonder, I had always like heard of and seen hitless runs, so I was like sort of curious to try it, and I enjoyed it a lot. I'm like kind of surprised at how little overlap I feel there is between hitless runners and speedrunners. Because in my mind, they are very, very similar. Like you practice a little bit, like do some runs, get a time in speedrunning, or in hitless you get a number of hits, and you try and improve it, try and get it down lower. So yeah, I find them very, very similar. Like they're a little different in some ways. Like in some ways, hitless is more chill because you can just sort of stop and talk to chat or whatever.
Yeah, you make a really good point. Yeah.
But on the other hand, it can be like super stressful when you're right at the end with no hits on your counter.
It's like, what if you took
do you want to get the bone
like...
scroll?
Probably. Thank you.
Sorry, continue.
No. Thank you for the shout out. I guess
no. That's more important. I promise. Anytime you need to interrupt for like, hey, you need to get an important thing, please do.
I mean, it wouldn't be a complete disaster if I missed this, but yeah, it is part of the route. I don't know. I forgot it though. Yeah, that's what happens when you talk to Pinstress while you're talking to chat or whatnot. You forget about this bone scroll, which is just we're gonna sell it for some money later. But yeah, and as for speedrunning, I actually got into it because of GDQ. I think like it was a long time ago. I've been speedrunning for like I think like 8 years now at this point. But yeah, like GDQs came onto my radar, and I just thought like speedruns with commentary was like the coolest thing. Like it just seemed like such a cool idea to me. And I really wanted to do like that specifically.
No, yeah, for sure.
All right,
I totally get you. I feel the same way.
And this is the fourth chorus skip. Bye, fourth chorus. See you never.
Bye.
That actually is a really cool boss, and it's,
it is a very cool
kind
boss.
of a shame.
You're
not
not
everybody
wrong.
skips it.
Yeah, there's like multiple different ways to skip that boss, and there's also like an insta kill if you want. Do you want to fight them? You can beat them in like less than 5 seconds. It's kind of tragic. So everyone say hi to Sherba. Hi, Sherba.
Hi, Sherba.
All right, so at this point, the route actually opens up quite a bit. This is where like a bunch of people do different things. One option is to rescue 5 fleas, which would get you a free ride to Greymoor. We're just gonna ride up these like wind currents and go up to Greymoor that way. This does mean I'm gonna have to fight an extra boss. We're gonna fight Morwang, which in my opinion is I used to rescue 5 fleas because I'm like, we get to skip a boss that way. But in my opinion, rescuing 5 fleas is actually more difficult than fighting Moorwing.
I agree. Moorwing is my best friend. I love him so much. It is my life's mission to get as many runners to not be
fight
Moorwing as possible. Yeah. Yeah.
Not to get Sharp Dart, to fight Moorwing.
Well, Sharp Dart's secondary.
Okay.
I feel like that one's a harder sell.
Valid.
Sharp Dart is a silk skill that I get in my run, and I love it very much. It basically lets you like dash through enemies and deal damage to them. But it is kind of out of the way to get.
You can pry cross stitch out of my cold dead hands. Yeah, I'm going to be getting a silk skill called cross stitch, which is a parry, which is very good. I mean, Sharp Dart is also very good in a lot of spots, but I like me some parries. Here we're going to see the destructive power of our traps, or not, or I could screw it up. That's fine too. They were supposed to instantly die. Okay, well, good enough. But yeah, sting shards are sort of a trap that you can lay, and given that we know where and when all enemies are going to spawn in arenas, we can typically just lay them on top and deal a whole bunch of free damage. I was a little bit late with my throw there, so I didn't quite explode that guy as I would have liked, but these things happen. I saw a question in chat, by the way, a little bit ago about like what happens if you get hit? Do you reset? So like, I mean, I guess yes. In like, if we were actually trying to get hitless, this is obviously a marathon, so we're just gonna, we have a hit counter on the screen. We're just gonna keep track and do our best. Although if you're doing runs, like often it is actually just a lot like speedrunning, where you're just keeping track and comparing against the PB. Where my PB is 5 hits, and I'm trying to do better than that. And sort of, same sort of thing. You can see the numbers go down and have splits and everything.
How big of a hitless community does this game have?
It has quite a few runners. I mean, I'm watching at least like 4 or 5 different people on Twitch, like right now, that are all like attempting to do hitless.
Nice. How many people have successfully beaten the game hitless?
I'm not sure. The Team Hitless website is they take a long time to approve runs, so it's like been a while. But also, I think the website is actually down at the moment, so I could not tell you.
I feel like I know personally of like 10 people. That's not a good estimate, though.
That's fair.
Anyways, this is Moorwing. They're not too bad of a boss once you like know the strats. It's actually pretty straightforward. They're a bit of a terror casually, especially on the release patch of the game. They dealt a lot more damage. They were actually nerfed on subsequent patches, so they're less of a terror now. But anyways, but yeah, as long as you know the strats, they're not too bad. Just like don't go underneath them, don't up slash, and it's not too bad. This is Haunted Bellheart. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure nothing's the matter here.
Happening here.
Yeah. We are actually gonna come back and rescue Haunted Bellheart in a little bit. It's actually required to proceed to Act 2. But we have some stuff to do first. Okay, I'm gonna knock on this door 5 times. That's just I just do that for timing. There was an enemy that aggroed me, and I want him to de-aggro me, and that's just how I count the seconds and don't go too fast. And the cute little pogo there, you can pogo that enemy. Like their pogo hitbox exists before their hurtbox exists, so like you can't actually get hit there. I mean, if you do it fast, I guess. But that's another speed.
I wasn't aware of that. I will look into that.
I mean, it just like saves like 3 seconds. It's not like a huge skip or anything, but yeah. Some more sting shards used there to good effect to get through that arena a little bit more safely.
I do love how you look away from the sting shard explosion. Very cool.
Yeah, you do the cool kids put on sunglasses as they walk away for the final enemy there.
I like
here
how
we
you
have vibrating
kind of
hornet.
float with the elevator.
Great. Yeah. All right, so we're coming up on our next boss, which is Sister Splinter, and our next boss, Skip. We're actually not going to be fighting Sister Splinter. This Skip is actually pretty straightforward. We're, again, just going to lure an enemy over and use them to pogo. As soon as we get through this not at all treacherous segment of platforming. Okay. So we're going to use the, again, completely undocumented taunt feature by pressing R3. I'm not sure what it is on keyboard. You can get Hornet to taunt, which makes an enemy like aggro you. We can use that to lure them over. Okay.
Very nice.
So yeah, Sister Splinter not required, and in fact, she's not even required in like if you were gonna do a hundo run, you wouldn't even need to fight her. She's just like not necessary. She doesn't actually give you anything. She just sort of blocks the way, but you can go around her, so it's totally fine.
Dang, wasn't even important enough to make 100% requirements. That's unfortunate.
Though to be fair, there's like a lot in this game that is not percent. Like,
and
it's
I mean,
actually it's horrifying how much of the game is like skippable in Hondo.
No, I get it.
None of the
Totally.
bosses are like explicitly a percent. It's like what you get from doing the bosses. So that's kind of how percentages work.
Fair,
Right.
fair.
Our next power up, Cling Grip. This lets us climb up walls. And I'm not sure if you've seen this, Stacy. I may be about to blow your mind. We're gonna go this way.
Oh, I'm familiar with the other way.
Oh, okay.
I
learned about this like
rosaries from
last
up
week
top.
and was like, why does everybody go the other way? Because this way's like way less dangerous.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're working our way back to Bellheart, and this is like a much safer way to go compared to the way that I and most everyone else typically goes, which is slightly faster, I guess. But okay, these bell walls, I broke one of them in 2 hits. I don't know how it works. There's something to do with your positioning, but if you're like positioned just right, you can break these walls in 2 hits instead of 3. I don't know how it works.
I think the hunter's like dash hit is just kind of silly because I noticed that also like if you are too close to a wall, it doesn't hit it at all.
Sure, yeah. Alright, this is Widow. This boss is actually terrifying. Like, arguably the scariest boss in the run. I would disagree, but you could argue. So I'm gonna try and lock in here.
No worries.
Keep missing that pogo. It's fine. Oh, that was rude. Fine. But yeah, she just drops bells from the ceilings and like a bunch of random patterns, and the bells can bounce off of walls and stuff. It's terrifying. So phase 2, if you hug the right wall here, as I'm doing, basically no bells can hit you. It is technically possible for a bell to hit you, it's just like exceptionally rare. But yeah, that makes this phase a lot more manageable. Okay, that was rude. Ordinarily, I can do this a little bit quicker. She's being a little bit rude, but you can get in damage and fire Silk Spears. This actually doesn't slow things down too much.
Nicely done.
Ooh, man. That was truly, like, I held my breath during that.
It's a pretty scary fight.
God, please, applause in the chat for Casserole here. That was really good.
But yeah, so like, I guess speaking about that strat, so like I like to hug the right wall there. It's obviously a little bit slower, but much safer. There are like a lot of like extremely slow cheese strats that like some hitless runners use for some arenas, which I typically don't really like. So for example, in High Halls Arena, there's a strat that you can use where you just like climb up the wall and hide in the corner. And just like very slowly like pick off the enemies as whenever they jump, which I like don't super love. I kind of want to just sort of like fight them more or less normally, but I don't mind that one too much because it's actually not too bad speed wise. Like you are actually like getting hits in and dodging and stuff.
Yeah.
But no shade to the people who do these like slower strats. Nothing wrong with that. That's just not my preference. All right. So yeah, just a couple of cutscenes here. So we've defeated Widow. We've gotten the needle in, which is our ability to play music on our needle. A sort of Silksong, if you will. Oh, I get it.
Whoa! He said the thing.
But yeah, we have a couple more cutscenes to go. We're gonna hit the switch, and then we're gonna have my favorite part of the run, which is where we're just gonna dance with Hornet as we wait for the bell to ring for like 6 years. It's pretty great. So chat, now's the time to spam any dance emotes you have. You want to get them in chat now, or in a minute when I finally wake up.
We'll give the signal. You'll know when it happens.
Yeah. But yeah, in a lot of other rooms, you've seen I've hit a lever and then immediately left the room. That's because it skips this cutscene of this bell ringing. We can't do it here, so instead we just make Hornet dance. The spider shuffle, if you will.
Nice. And that's my go-to dance move right there. The spider shuffle.
All right. With that, we have saved bell hearts, and now that we have the cling grip, the ability to cling to walls, and the needle in, we actually have like a lot of things that have opened up to us. So now is where we're gonna do a bunch of shopping. We have a bunch of errands to run. So, first things first, we're gonna visit Scrounge. Everyone loves Scrounge, or at least I love Scrounge. They're adorable. They're the relic keepers, so they're gonna take all the relics we've been collecting for some extra rosaries, which we have yet more upgrades to buy with them. We're also gonna visit Pliny. This is the pin master. They are gonna upgrade our needle. You would do this in a speedrun because it's like literally right here, and it's a free damage upgrade. It saves time, which is quite nice. But yeah, this damage numbers are like slightly awkward in Silksong. So in Hollow Knight, your nail deals 5 damage, and every nail upgrade gives you +4, which is like a massive damage boost. Silksong has the same system. Like our needle deals 5 damage, and that upgrade's worth +4. But it's not quite that good because there's this weird damage multiplier that's like different for every enemy. It's kind of elaborate and weird, but nonetheless, it's still a free damage upgrade, and it like legitimately saves time because it's right there. Which is quite nice. Okay, we're gonna go back to Bone Bottom. Okay, so other question that comes up a lot in hitless runs is this game has what's called a crest system. So the crest, you can sort of think of it like a class. Like we're on the Hunter's Crest right now, but you can unlock like the Shaman's Crest, which has stronger spells, or the Architect's Crest, which has stronger tools but like less damage or whatever, right? And so a common question is, what crest are you going to use for the run? Like, is there a good crest for hitless specifically? And the answer is the Hunter's Crest is just by far the best crest for hitless because of the upgrade we're going to go get here. We're going to go talk to Ava and get the evolved Hunter's Crest. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us a focus meter. And whenever we hit something with our needle, we're going to get 1 stack of focus. And once you build up to 6 stacks of focus, we're going to deal 30% more damage. And the only way to lose all of your stacks, you lose all of your stacks whenever you get hit. So it is basically tailor-made for hitless. As long as we don't get hit, we're just going to have 30% more damage. And that just sort of far outweighs the benefits of any other crest, really. In any percent, at least. I think Hundo runners dabble with some of the other crests, like Shamans and Architects, or not Hundo, or like True Ending runners, I guess. But I'm not so sure.
What is hundo in this game defined as?
I mean, there's just an in-game percentage.
Oh, nice. I mean, but you mentioned like true ending. Is true ending hundo, or are they two different things?
No, they're two different things. Yeah, I mean, there's multiple endings in this game. We're going for the any percent ending, which is like hours shorter than true ending or hundo.
Have you tried like a hundo or a true ending hitless?
No, I have not. A few people have. A few people have gotten true ending. I don't think anyone's gotten hundo yet, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, Stacy, if you know any differently.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't even know if anyone's working on it. I know at least one person is working on all bosses.
Right, which is a third different thing, of course.
Yeah.
Bosses aren't percent in this game, so like you have to do some things more than hundo if you're doing all bosses, but also less. But in any case, yeah, some people have done true ending, but yeah, like for context, the speedrunning wise, like any percent, the speedrun is like 50 minutes, or like I think 40x has been breached probably. And like true ending is like 3 hours, and hundo is like 4, I think.
Okay.
So it's quite a lot longer. I'm not brave enough to attempt that in hitless or in speedrunning. It's like longer than I typically speedrun. We're coming up on break time, by the way. I'll just shout that out now.
Just let us know whenever you would like to take that break, and we'll be able to do it.
Yeah. So obviously hitless, you are allowed to take breaks whenever, which is quite nice. In speedrunning, you are actually also allowed to take breaks in Silksong if your run is longer than an hour, which is really, really nice, and I appreciate that a lot. But yeah, this is the perfect spot for it. So we're just going to plop ourselves on this bench, and we can take a quick break whenever.
All right, wonderful. All right, folks. So with longer runs here on GDQ Hotfix, we tend to have a bit of a tradition where we take a wellness break or two within these longer runs here. So we're going to be taking a bit of a break here, and we'll be back with the second half of this amazing hitless run of Hollow Knight Silksong here by Upper Casserole, as well as some more 2D Metroidvania action for the rest of the night. So with that being said, we will be right back, folks. Do not. Hello, everyone. My name is Ozmourn. I hope you all have been having a wonderful Monday night. We had a wonderful episode earlier of Perilous Pads, and Perilous Pads have not finished tonight because we have some amazing 2D Metroidvania action here for you here on the Scenic Route. If you are just now joining us for the first time, the Scenic Route is a show that is all about glitchless and no major glitches runs, or runs that just naturally have little to no glitches in them. Now, with that being said, we're going to be seeing some wonderful, amazing runs here. We just saw the first half of an any percent hitless run of Hollow Knight Silksong here by Upper Casserole. Now, before I begin, I do also just want to say that I messed up and I completely forgot to wish y'all a happy holiday at the beginning of the episode, like I do at the beginning of every episode and every break. So with that being said, you're going to get 2 now. Number 1, happy National Waffle Iron Day. If you have a waffle iron, maybe make a waffle while you're watching this episode of the Scenic Route. Nothing's ever wrong with a late night waffle. And of course, happy World Scleroderma Day. Please schedule an appointment with your dermatologist ASAP. With that being said, we're going to go straight into this next half of the run of Hollow Knight Silksong, any percent hitless by Upper Casserole. This has been an amazing run so far. I hope y'all have loved watching it as much as I loved hosting it. And I hope that Upper Casserole has loved running it for y'all. We're going to go right back to him right now. So Upper Casserole, please take it away.
No, I haven't been. It's been a terrible time. No, I kid. Right. Welcome back, everybody. I don't know if the timer has paused or whatnot, but we can start it back up in 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, we're back. We're about halfway through this hitless run. Just double checking all my gear is good. Yep. Okay. Hi, Sharma. Bye, Sharma. So yeah, we're now ready to go into Act 2. And there are two main ways to get there. Again, this is where like a lot of different routes diverge. We could go up the, I can never remember the name of the area, the cliffs.
Blasted Steps.
Blasted Steps, that's the one. I always get it confused with Howling Cliffs from Hollow Knight. We could go up Blasted Steps and fight the last judge, or we could go into the Mist and fight Phantom. Both have their pros and cons, and like you could argue that one is easier than the other. I feel like they're probably similar-ish difficulty-wise. I feel like the Mist might be a little bit harder. But when I was routing this, all the logic that I put into it was, Phantom is my favorite boss, I want to fight Phantom, so we're gonna go that way.
Yeah, I think the main difficulty difference is, I think Phantom is a slightly easier boss, but the Mist is harder than Blasted Steps because of its inconsistency, and you'll see why it's inconsistent, because Cass is going to be doing it.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. So yeah, we're just sort of working our way over there. I made a brief detour to pick up Pimpillo, which I think is an incredible tool. I don't know of any other hitless runner that gets Pimpillo, but I feel like more should because it's real strong. And then we're going to work our way over to Sinner's Road, which is, I don't know, it's an area that looks scarier than it is, I feel. Like, a lot of these enemies are, like, kind of spooky, but they're not too bad as long as you sort of know what you're doing, I guess. But yeah, we're going to take one more detour here to pick up another really useful item. We're going to just aggro every single enemy in this room and hopefully not get hit by any of them. Whee. Cool. So this is the Barbed Bracelet. This is an item that is going to increase our damage by 25%, but it's going to make us take double damage in reply, which is obviously probably not very good casually, but in hitless, it's completely free, so...
Yay, we love free things.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to work our way through Sinner's Road. This is actually a terrifying room, this one right here. There's a bunch of flying enemies that are quite spooky. Again, I'm going to do 5 knocks on this door just for timing. Just like making sure the enemy de-aggroed me. And then it's really important that that flying guy doesn't see you, because if he spots you, he'll actually summon a second flying guy out of nowhere to like flank you with. It's kind of terrifying. Okay, we're through that. Alright. So that's basically it for Sinner's Road. There's like mucky water below me, which like infects you and starts sapping your silk. That actually doesn't count as getting hit per team hitless rules, if I'm not mistaken. Probably because it's actually like required for, at least for like Hondo. Like in theory, there's spots where you sort of have to get mucked. Okay, so this is the Mist. The Mist is completely random. So there are like 8 different rooms, and every time you do a transition, it's just going to give you a random room with a random correct exit that you have to find. You can find the correct exit by playing your needle into these butterflies, and they will point the way. So yeah, the Mist is spooky for hitless. It's also spooky in general, but yeah. There is some like speed tech and other things that can help make it easier, though. There used to be a tech called room juggling that was like really good, and it made the Mist very consistent and fast. But that was patched out pretty quickly, unfortunately. So we're gonna do it slightly slower. Okay, this is not a great room. So this is the 3rd room, and I know that the correct exit in this room has to be left or right facing, because the 3rd room always has a left or right facing exit. But unfortunately, this room has several left and right facing exits, so I have to actually check. Sometimes you would actually not have to check, because there'd only be one. Yeah, I'm trying to not aggro these wraiths. I guess we aggro this one, that's fine. Oh, that's not the exit. It's down here. Sure. So this is the halfway point of the crossing. The nice thing about the crossing is that you can actually backtrack through it as many times as you want. This is, I think, exclusive to latest patch. I don't think you could do this on older patches. But this is just going to re-randomize the room. And this is actually 1 in 8. This is the best possible room. We just got it first try, which is great.
Beautiful.
I would take other rooms too, but this one is actually just the best. Basically, so the second half of the mist is only 2 rooms long, so this is the final room. But if there's no right-facing exit in this room, it'll just make you do extra rooms. And if you keep losing coin flips, you could potentially have to do like an infinite number of rooms in the second half of the mist, which is awful, and we don't want to do that. So that's why I reset the halfway point till I get like a room that has more likely good RNG. I do still need to check though, because this room has 2 exits. Ew, that was terrifying. Okay, it's right here. Okay, cool, we're done.
Beautiful. Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Sometimes the mist can be extremely rude. That was not too bad, but yeah, we handled it pretty well. Okay, this brings us to the exhaust organ and our next boss, which is going to be Phantom, which, as I said, is my absolute favorite boss. Their music goes so hard. We're just going to equip the bar bracelet, so we have our 25% damage boost. This is a bit of a tricky platforming segment, though. It's not, like, terribly difficult, but it's super punishing. If you screw up, you're getting hit. Like, there's no way you can not get hit if you mess up this this movement at all. Because you're just either going to eat spikes or you're going to slow down enough that this like steam will just get you. Just wait here. Okay, so this is the Phantom. They have the coolest boss intro and most awesome music in the game.
Whoa, that intro is, yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
But he's just a little guy. Look at him.
He is just a little guy, though. It's true. Oh, that was a low jump. Ideally, we want them to just do that jump attack because we can punish them really hard with Silk Spear. They also make like aggressive crow noises, which I think is really funny. There are so many amazing like the voice work in this game is just really good, even though it's like obviously mostly just sort of like sounds and stuff. It's very, very good in my opinion. Okay, and then this fight ends with a quick time event here. I think the only one in the game where you have to parry. So yeah, the nice thing about fighting Phantom is that Phantom is going to give us the Silk skill Cross Stitch, which is a parry skill that we're going to be using. Not exclusively, but we'll be using it a bunch for the rest of the run. So we can only have one Silk skill equipped at a time, so this is going to replace our Silk Spear. We can swap back to Silk Spear whenever we want, and we will swap back to it a few times. But it's a nice one to have in our pocket.
I don't do the mist in my run, and cross stitch is like the main thing that I miss by not doing that, because it can really get you out of some sketchy situations.
I see.
Yeah, it's quite a good one. But yeah, that's one advantage of doing the mist, even though, yeah, like it's probably like a little bit tougher, but cross stitch is a very, very nice reward for it. All right, with that, we are done with Act 1, basically. So we had a hitless asterisk Act 1. We got hit by ants and nothing
Asterisks.
else. But we take those.
Yeah, ants.
Hey, we just had to get like the bad luck out of the way at the beginning, and now the rest of the run's gonna go smooth. That's how that works.
Exactly.
So we have a cool little visual bug here. So we equipped a tool for the first time, so the game's like, press down and B to use tool. And this usually lasts until you leave the room, but leaving the room triggers a cutscene, the Act 2 cutscene. And for whatever reason, this prop just stays here, which I think is just hilarious. It's like Act 2. By the way, press down and B to use tool. So in case you didn't know, it's down and B is how you use tools. Cool. Just making that clear. It's Lace. She's back.
That's fine.
I thought I'd never see her again.
Right.
Nesvia.
But yeah, so we've made it up here. Story-wise, we've been trying to get to the Citadel, which is where like this crazy curse and everything is coming from. So we've made it. We've made it to the Citadel, and it'll be smooth sailing from here, surely. This is actually, I find this to be way cooler if you come from the other direction. But like you enter the Citadel and go through like a ton of like empty rooms where there's just like dead bugs and nothing's around. And then you encounter Lace and like all the enemies in the entire Citadel wake up. It's like a really cool moment. And the music starts. Very beautiful music.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite tracks in the game for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're just working our way up to the top here. We're not going to run into this steam. No one's ever accidentally done that before.
No, I wouldn't think so. No, of course not.
Yeah, cool. Of course not. We actually have a sort of tricky room here. We need to pogo over these grand reeds. We're abusing the fact that pogoing gives you iframes to dash through them, which is actually kind of spooky. It's not terribly lenient.
It's a teeny tiny amount of iframes.
Yeah. All right, fan favorite boss. This is the Choral Dancers. There's 2 dancers. We only have to beat up one of them. They have separate HP pools, and the phase ends when like one of them takes enough damage. So we're just gonna focus all of our damage on one. I lay 3 traps. In phase 1, their movement, their pattern, their first pattern is exactly the same every time.
Mm-hmm.
So up till literally right there, their pattern is the same. So phase 1 is free, but from here on out, it's going to be random and faster. Now phase 3, they're going to be moving out of sync with each other instead. Which I find this phase easier than phase 2, personally, but...
I do too.
But sometimes they control you and make it take forever. Like so. And now phase 4, which is the tragic phase, where there's just the one dancer remaining, and they're actually very slow. This is supposedly free. I have actually been hit in this phase several times in runs, which is tragic. But not as tragic as watching this guy dance by himself.
It's okay. We put him out of his misery.
At least there's that.
And with that, we have another really long cutscene where we have nothing better to do but dance. So again, Kat, spam any dancing emotes you got in chat.
Please
Dance.
chat, yeah. Well, while we're here dancing, you mind if I read out an announcement real quick?
Yeah, feel free to.
Yeah, of course. I just want to let folks know, if you're looking to be more involved with the GDQ community, join the official Games Done Quick Discord and add the Hotfix role to get updates on upcoming events, chat with staff, and more. Use !Discord in Twitch chat for an invite and more info. Please do join the Discord. I do check in whenever like the schedule for a week ever gets announced. I like to see what people think of the schedule for the week. And so please join the Discord. get the hotfix, enjoy your role so you can get notice on all of the information that we have here about hotfix, as well as notice about SGDQ. SGDQ is coming up on Sunday, and if you want to be having a space where you can just talk to people at the event, you can do that right there as well. All right, back to the run here. Now, how are you? How do you typically feel at this point in the run? Especially, let's say if you hadn't gotten hit, like if you hadn't gotten hit and you were at this point in the run, how are you feeling with it being like 30-ish minutes to the end of the run? At this point, would you say,
This
like in
is
terms of
definitely
just not?
where, like, I definitely think Dancers is like a pretty big milestone. Like Act 1 hitless is actually really tough. I think anyone who does hitless will tell you, like Act 1 is not easy. And then getting through Dancers, now we're like really into like Act 2 proper. That's definitely like a part where nerves can start to kick in. I don't know, do you feel the same way, Stacey?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I only just recently got past what you're about to do
Yeah, that's fair enough.
as my farthest point in the run, so I definitely have nerves at this point in the run for sure.
All right, so this is the Vaults Arena, a somewhat tricky arena. But we have a lot of tools at our disposal here, so... what? Where was my Silk Spear? Excuse you. I pressed the Silk Spear button. Oh, okay.
Silksong is a perfect game, by the way.
Yeah. That's what that's supposed to look like. Okay. That is fine. Well, we did take a hit there, unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess I Silk Speared a little bit too early. Didn't come out. So I got smacked in the face. One nice thing, I mentioned that we have the, like our crest now, we have a focus meter that gives us 30% more damage, and it breaks whenever you get hit. So sometimes you can get hit like in a really awkward spot, and then it like ruins your setup for like the next wave or whatever. And then you just get like hit again, which is really awkward. Obviously, in the actual hitless run, it doesn't matter, but when you're, you know, grinding your PB down, that can be pretty annoying. Fortunately, there, it was like totally fine. It didn't matter at all. Anyways, here's Cardenius. We literally robbed Cardenius of their own cylinder and then sold it back to them for 200 rosaries.
That's what they deserve.
So that's free money for us. Okay, so we're working our way through the vaults. This is definitely like one of the most confusing areas of the run. It is so easy to get lost in the vaults. There's like 2 or 3 rooms that all are massive and look exactly the same. So we're gonna just try and work our way through it. Obviously, I have done this once or twice before, so it should be okay. But when you're learning it, it's really tough. And we're gonna take... Oop. Hello? We're gonna take one other brief detour here to get a pale oil, which is gonna let us upgrade our needle one more time. It's not a huge detour. Speedrunners used to actually get this upgrade. Eventually, they determined that it was like a little bit slower than just not getting it. But again, obviously, we're not doing speedrun, so we're gonna go out of our way for the free damage. And given that we have like 55% bonus damage from our crest and our tools that we have equipped, like any damage buff is just kind of actually massive. Okay, so we solved that puzzle. And we grab this pale oil. Okay, I've messed this up, it's fine. Sure. Improvising movement. Never scary. Also, very cute Easter egg. So, Chakra, the map seller, she sells a quill, which you can use to like update maps. But if you never buy Chakra's quill, you can steal Trobio's quill. And it's red. It's great. Does this do anything for us? Absolutely not. Do we pick it up every time? Yes. Okay.
Sometimes you just gotta do things for like joyous and whimsical reasons, you know what I mean?
It's true. Whimsy is important. Okay, so we're gonna grab a bench here. We're gonna switch back to cross stitch, which we still haven't actually used yet. Sometimes I use it against the dancers, but the dancers fight was very smooth today, so. We will, however, be seeing it against our next boss. So we're gonna take a detour to upgrade our needle, which is where we're going right now, but then we're gonna go fight Trobio. Trobio is just the hardest boss in the run. They are terrifying. They have a bunch of random projectiles. They can overlap attacks, so sometimes they'll like fire multiple projectiles like at the same time. And they're just very fast and scary. But they're also really cool. They're like probably my favorite fight. I enjoy the fight a lot. But yeah, it's gonna be scary. We'll see if we can get through it. Also, so I mentioned that, so like we have the barb bracelet equipped, which makes us take double damage, and like it's free because this is hitless. But like this is a marathon run, we might actually take damage, and at this point in the game, most things deal 2 damage. So with double, like we die in 2 hits to like basically everything. Like it is actually pretty easy to just die. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but yeah, just putting that out there is entirely possible. All right, so here's Trobio. We are gonna lay a bunch of traps, which they are gonna immediately trigger.
The Trobio special. Sorry. Oh my god, the casserole special. The casserole
It's
special.
true.
You're
I
cooking
came
with that
up
one.
the
You're
strat.
cooking with that one. Can I just say? You're cooking with that. The casserole special.
Hey, Trobio. There's the cross stitch, which is our parry. That's very helpful that we can parry the tornadoes that are otherwise, like, you basically can't deal damage during them. Oh, okay. Phase 2. Oh, rude. I could have dodged that.
It does give me a heart attack every time I see a runner go to
Cross
do
stitch.
cross stitch. Yeah.
It's true. It gives me a heart attack every time I see any other runner use cross stitch, which is like hilarious because everyone uses it like slightly differently. I'm like, no, what are you doing?
Trobio!
This guy gotta calm down.
No, he's
Never that
perfectly-
serious.
Trobio
never
is
that serious.
unfortunately dead, and they're definitely not still alive. That was weird. Yeah, let me check one more time. I'm sure it's nothing.
I think it's fine.
But yeah, that is Trobio. We do actually fight them again later in like a Hundo run. You could fight them again, and they are still just as extra then. But we will not be seeing them again. Let me do the movement properly. There we go. So we're in the underworks. We're at 1 HP, but we're about to bench. It'll be fine. So yeah, Trobio is actually required for any percent. If after I finished my casual playthrough, if you had asked me what bosses are required to like finish the game, I would not have thought Trobio would be one of them. But he does actually block the one of the sacred cylinders, which is a requirement for any percent. All right, this room, I'm just hold run, and it's fine. Just don't let go of the run button.
It's up there.
Yeah, except there. But yeah, that's my strat for that room. You just hold run and it's fine. There's a similar room in Hollow Knight, the Crystal Peak, where you can sort of do the same thing. If you just do the speedrunner strat, which is just go as fast as possible, the cycles all just like work out perfectly.
Does that strat work in real life, by the way?
I mean, I've never tried to run through a room with falling lava, so I'd.
Oh, is that
I'll
not?
let you
I'm
know.
sorry. Is that not a situation people get into themselves
It's
into?
not a situation I found myself in very often. No. All right, so this is the claw line. It's our hook shot. Interestingly enough, you don't actually need to hook to something. It still launches you forward, as I just demonstrated. So it's quite nice for movement. You can use it in combat, and I basically never do because I'm like, it's spooky. You can get hit if you claw line the wrong thing. So I like literally never use it anywhere. Now that enemy that I just beat up is called an underscrub, and I feel that's important for everybody to know.
That is important. I'm glad that I know this information now.
I really like this arena. This arena is like just one that looks super smooth when you do it well. Like, and it's not particularly hard. You just like, obviously you have the script for it, but everything just dies so quickly. It looks really cool in my opinion.
And it feels really cool.
It does. Okay, I'm gonna break this necklace. So this is our last shopping trip. This is the 12th Architect. We've been building up rosaries for a little bit so that we can buy one more crafting kit, which is just going to increase our tool damage even more. We're also going to buy 2 shard bundles, which I shouldn't need unless I die repeatedly to High Hells Arena, but what are the odds of that happening? But yeah, better to have and not need or whatever, I guess. Okay. So switch back to cross stitch, and this is going to be, we're going to be using cross stitch for the rest of the run. We're actually getting sort of close to the end. Right now, our objective is we're trying to find all 3 pieces of the threefold melody. And we haven't gotten any of them yet, but we're about to pick up basically all 3 of them in pretty rapid succession. We're working our way over to the first one, and then we're just going to get all 3 of them pretty quick. That platform that I just landed on is like exclusive to latest patch. Previously, you would just fall into spikes there, and they decided to add a platform. I don't know why, but we'll take it, I guess. So yeah, this area of the map is blocked by Trobio. You can't get here without beating up Trobio, which is why we had to fight them. All right. So this is the Sacred Cylinder, which has the first of the threefold melody on it. We're gonna go back to Cardenius and listen to it. I always beat up that spider because this room can go really wrong if that box, like smacking this box typically kills that flying enemy, but sometimes it doesn't, and then things go terribly wrong. Oh god.
I mean, on a run like this, better safe than sorry, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, for the most part, my strategy for hitless is I like watch speedruns and then I just do the speedrunner strat until I get hit doing it, and then I go, okay, maybe I'll do it slightly slower and like come up with something slightly slower but more consistent. And that is definitely a spot where, yeah, I used to just like not do it, and then you get hit once and you're like, okay, never doing that again. The actual hardest part of the run, remembering to actually play the melody here instead of just giving Cardenius the cylinder and then leaving, which I've done many a time. Have you ever done that, Stacy?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, cool.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think I've done it maybe twice. I'm just like trying to go up the final elevator and they're like, the dialogue just isn't advancing. Like, why? What is going on here?
Yeah.
I did all the things. Or did I?
Or did you?
I have forgotten to do the core one time.
Oh, yeah.
Just like an entire section of the run I forgot to do. And I was like,
Yeah.
why can't I go up the elevator?
That's valid. Speaking of the core, we're gonna go do that right now. Yeah, the cool thing about like the core is that like all of these cogs, you can claw line them and also pogo them. So you can do all sorts of like really neat movement to like get through these areas. And
This game just really seemed like pretty innovative with its mechanics and the way that it interacts with with like the world that it builds.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, this room is really cool. We're trying to like climb to the top here, and we're gonna skip like huge chunks of this room by doing some elaborate pogo shenanigans, which is like probably easier than doing it like the casual way, really. I'm not gonna do all of them though. Like I could go up here, but I'm gonna go down because that one's a bit spooky. Now this guy's gonna cooperate. Cool. Doesn't always let you hit him from beneath, but that time he did. Ooh, I'll wait. I'll wait again.
If you go too slowly under that gate, it will hit you. I learned that the hard way.
That's true. So yeah, another skip here where we're just gonna claw line up these cogs to get to here quicker. I'm gonna avoid the left side of this room and just go up this way. Okay. That's that. Now we have this puzzle that never changes, so we're gonna try and do it as fast as we can. This is like, I'm gonna do this the very outdated speedrunner way. Speedrunners used to sort of do it like this. They do it much faster now. I still think this looks pretty cool. Oh, I missed it. No. Never mind, it looks super lame. You're just trying to line up the music notes in the right pattern, and yeah, it's the same pattern every time, so not too bad. Alright, so this is melody number 2. And we saved the best one for last. We'll talk about that in a little bit, in a minute or so. But yeah, this one's, I guess, probably the easiest. You don't have to fight Trobio or do high halls. You just have to do some platforming. That's not too bad.
This run has been absolutely like incredibly impressive, by the way. I don't know if like you realize just how impressive this has been. I mean, yes, it's not like full hit list. Of course, there's 3 hits. Like sure. That's an incredibly impressive feat. Still, anyone who's played Silksong can probably attest to that.
Right here we do the speedrunner fall, which isn't too bad. Well, I say that, but again, like I do the speedrunner strats until I get hit doing them, and then I find something slower. I've never got hit doing that, so it's fine. We just keep doing it. It looks terrifying. It's fine. I'm gonna grab this bench. This is just so that I can save quit back to this bench later. We didn't actually need it otherwise. All right, now we're working our way over to High Halls, which yeah, High Halls Arena is just the scariest part of the run. It's an arena that is 11 waves long. Most of the waves have like flying enemies that throw projectiles. It's just a nightmare. And yeah. We're gonna try to do it. I'm gonna be using cross stitch, which I guess is pretty atypical. Most people will take silk spear or sharp dart or something else. I like cross stitch specifically for like. I'm gonna reset this room. Well, I guess he didn't aggro me. This flying guy, his name is Stinkerbell. Oh,
Tinkerbell?
Ooh. Yeah, Stinkerbell.
Okay, I just want to make sure I heard that right.
Yeah. It wasn't Stinkerbell that got me, I just pogoed into the spikes. I mean, that was what I was trying to do, but I would rather pogo dangerously up those spikes than engage with Stinkerbell. But sadly, we did get hit there. That's another one that's been it's been a long while since that I've gotten hit like that, but these things happen. Okay, so this is High Halls, like, not the arena yet, just High Halls. I really love the music here. This is one of my favorite tracks. I wish this area were longer. High Halls is actually quite short. So we're not going to be hearing it
Probably
for
to
very
make up
long.
for the nasty gauntlet.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not going to ride the water slide today, as much as I would like to.
No water slide. What's the point? What's even the point?
So the left half of High Halls has water slides, and then the right half has spiky slides. I think this is a little less marketable, personally, but what do I know? Okay. Okay, before we go into High Halls Arena, I'm gonna go down here and beat up this Grand Reed repeatedly for Silk. Because I would like a full Silk meter going into High Halls. I'm also gonna heal because I'm actually damaged. So, fortunately, this guy is quite easy to beat up, and it's actually not... It doesn't take that long either. You can just keep resetting the room. Okay, so I'll heal, and now I'm gonna refill up my meter again. But yeah, I definitely need a full Silk meter going into High Halls. The first wave I'm going to be parrying twice, so... Okay. With that, we're going to go into High Halls. I'm going to take just a second here to stretch and hydrate. I invite you all to do the same.
Please do. Make sure you get some self-care in with this, especially intense run as well.
Yeah. Alright, so this is High
Get
Halls
up and
Arena.
stretch.
Hi YouTube, welcome to my hitless High Halls Arena tutorial video. We're going to learn how to beat High Halls Arena in 11 easy steps. They really did not want me to have that. Holy moly. Okay, we're fine. Wave 1 is actually one of the spookier waves. My strat for that isn't like 100% consistent. Throw two traps, which like instantly explodes that guy, which is really important because fighting two of these guys simultaneously is like a night. What the heck was that? Y'all see that? He threw his cogfly straight down.
I saw it. That was weird.
Yeah, I
and it
did.
didn't
I
even
did
hit
see
the
that.
ground.
But yeah, you can see we're using cross stitch. What am I doing here? A fair amount, which is like, I mean, it's what we have. Okay. I think cross stitch is like the best possible tool for wave 11, and I think it's worse for like every other wave. But for wave 11, it is just so heckin' good. And I mean, it's pretty good elsewhere too, but not as good as Silk Spear, I don't think. Okay, final wave.
Ooh, my goodness.
Okay. Nice.
That's the wave where us cowards will hide in the corner.
Yeah. Basically, you can just like fly up here, and those two clappers can't ever hit you, and you can just like slowly plink away at them with damage, which is a viable strat, but it does take forever.
Yeah. I haven't figured out a good way to do that phase with Sharp Dart, so I will be sticking with my corner.
Yeah, cross stitch helps a lot in that wave. You can just be so much more aggressive because you can just parry their melee attack, which is like the scariest thing they can do. Okay. With that, we're basically ready to go finish the game. So we have 2 bosses standing in our way. We have Lace 2, and then the final boss. Lace 2 is a fight I like a lot. I find it to be, like, consistent isn't quite the right word, but, like, I think Lace 2 is, like, a very easy boss, per se, in a hitless context. Because she's very predictable in a lot of ways. She is wicked fast, and like that is terrifying. But like she doesn't do anything tricky. Like she doesn't fire any projectiles. She doesn't like overlap any of her attacks. It's like just straight up when she does this attack, you dodge this way. When she does that attack, you dodge that way, and that's it. And she's just very fast. So in that sense, I find her like straightforward for hitless. But yeah. That's just my opinion on the fight, at least. The other thing I like is that she always does the very same first attack, which is actually quite helpful for, like, getting into the groove of things, I guess. Because, like, you get this late into a run and you're actually on a hitless pace, like, you know, your nerves are going crazy, whatever. It's nice to just, like, I know exactly what she's going to do to start, and then you can just kind of get into the rhythm of it, which I find very helpful.
What do you think is like the mindset that you have when it comes to approaching like grinding out a hitless run versus grinding out a speed run?
So, I mean, I approach them pretty similarly. I'm very much like a no reset runner. I mean, I do reset sometimes, but like, I feel like I reset less than like everybody I know. And I just feel like like every run is sort of just practice, and like you're just trying to get like your average time down or your average like hits down, that sort of thing. And I don't know, that's always served me well, but I know a lot of people have sort of different approaches to it. All right, Lace 2. Again, we have cross stitch, which is quite nice here too. That was weird. We also haven't really talked about it, but we actually just have like an absurd amount of damage. Like, these bosses actually go down pretty darn quickly. Given our 2 needle upgrades and our 55% damage on top of that.
Yeah.
Okay, lays down. Then the sad music starts playing and everyone starts to cry. And we learn the tragic Lace backstory. I guess I haven't mentioned it. We're playing in English. Simplified Chinese is a little bit quicker, but again, not a speedrun, so I'd rather just read the tags. But if you're familiar with Hollow Knight, in Hollow Knight, simplified Chinese is like so much faster. It's absurd. Like the text scrolls way faster. In this game, there's just like less characters, so it's like a little bit quicker. But it's not nearly as big a deal. But yeah, in Hollow Knight, like I can't play that game in English anymore. It's just like, it's so atrociously slow. But this one I don't mind. Like I swapped to simplified Chinese at one point, and I like didn't notice a huge difference personally. So okay, so we just have the final boss, Grandmother Silk. Not the hardest boss in the game. Similar to Hollow Knight, sort of. If you know, you know. They're not too bad. They do have like a fair bit of like randomness to them. They do shoot like random projectiles and whatnot, so it can be tricky. But they really just don't attack very quickly. So they're generally not too bad. But they are the final boss, so we're gonna head on up there.
God, this has been an absolutely amazing run. Thank you so much for coming in here and showing this off, because having a game that's as difficult as Hollow Knight and turning it into even greater of a challenge, that's the thing that I admire the most about like hitless runners, where it's just like you're creating an already really difficult experience and you're creating it into something that's an even higher challenge that most people won't get to. And so really thank you for coming and showing this off. It is an absolutely amazing thing to see. I hope Chad has been enjoying it too.
P5 Markoth is harder than GMS for sure. We don't use that word, P5 Markoth. Where did you learn that word? Alright, so this is Grandma. She has her needles and her thread. And we're just gonna keep jumping at her. Ooh. I do have parry, which is quite useful as an emergency button, as I demonstrated there. Sometimes you're just like positioned really poorly. Oh, that's the attack that ruined Stacy's hitless run like this week.
Yeah. And I didn't have an emergency button.
That's true.
You always gotta have an emergency button.
It is helpful. Okay. You can just attack these spikes and they go away, which is quite nice. Okay.
She did it again.
She did. What's going on here? Okay. Time is coming up. I think it's when the screen like fades completely to white at the end of this mashing segment. Nothing sinister is happening here. Pay no attention to our health bar slowly turning to steel and our silk meter gaining infinite silk.
No, this
I'm
is
sure it's fine.
I'm not questioning anything.
Time.
GG.
GG.
So yeah, so that is Hollow Knight Silksong almost hitless. 4 hits, not too bad. I'll take it in marathon for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And we did all the
That was
hardest
an
parts.
absolutely amazing run.
Hardest parts well, I guess. We got High Halls Arena and Lace and Grandma hitless, so can't complain.
True.
Yes, thank you so much for that amazing run, Upper Casserole. The people really liked it in chat. People really showed up for it. I know I did. That's an absolutely amazing run. An incredibly skilled run, too. Hitless runners are truly built different, and I will never understand y'all. But honestly, y'all really do bring out an amazing show, that's for sure. Hence why we have Hitless events all year long.
It's really not that different from speedrunning. If you are a speedrunner and you've thought about dabbling in hitless, I encourage you to give it a try. I think it's more similar than you might think.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. Hopefully, this run inspired someone to maybe try this themselves. But really, thank you so much for this amazing run, Uppercast. I'm going to give you two a moment to just shout out whatever you like to shout out. Stackman, would you like to shout out, and then we'll give this the floor here to Uppercast.
Sorry, do what?
Shout outs.
Shout out. Yeah, shout out anything you want to shout out.
Shout out to my mom. Love you.
There, yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, if that's what you want to shout out, that's what you want to shout out. That's all you need. Yeah, thank you so much. And of course, you, Upper Casserole.
Yeah, so you can find me at twitch.tv/uppercasserole. Shout outs to the Silksong speedrunning and hitless communities. They're both very welcoming, very friendly. Feel free to jump in if you're interested in learning the runs. There are resources all over the place to help you out.
Thank you so much, Upper Casserole, and of course, Stackman for that amazing run. I hope the folks at home loved it as much as I loved seeing it. So, with that being said, folks, we're going to be right back with some more 2D Metroidvania action as we get into the latter half of this episode. It was a really good first half with a very intense run of an amazing game, and we're going to be here all night long with some more 2D Metroidvania stuff. We're going to come up here with Animal Well, not like your typical 2D Metroidvania with like combat and stuff like that, but it's still a Metroidvania in a very wonderful way. And so it's one of my favorite games. And so I'm very excited to see a speedrun of it here. But yeah, we'll be right back after this break. Stay tuned.
Hello, welcome to the
Good
Animal
evening,
Well.
everyone. I hope you all are having a wonderful day here with the Scenic Route. My name is Ozmourn. Again, I hope y'all are having a wonderful night here with Perilous Pads here that we saw earlier as well, with Zello and Cutie. If y'all watched that, please shout out to them as well. That was an absolutely amazing show. We saw a really good run of Hollow Knight Silksong Any% Hitless here with Upper Casserole to start off this episode of the Scenic Route. That was absolutely amazing. I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I loved hosting for it. But yeah, before we begin, I also wanted to say, please take my children to work day. That is today. Notice how it is not, please take your children to work day. It is take my children to work day. It was a holiday that was invented for single mothers and stay-at-home moms. And this is a real holiday. You can check checkaday.com right here. With that being said, we're going to go straight into this next run. This is one of my favorite games of all time. It is Animal Well, a wonderful 2D Metroidvania. Now, this is a Metroidvania not in like the traditional sense because there is no real like combat or like weapons and items that you can get in that sense, but there is of course progression items and items that like kind of function. The progression system and the way that you get items in this game kind of functions the same way as Metroidvania. And so I really, really enjoy it. I think it's one of the better games out there. And I'm excited to see this speedrun. So with us, we have JACMT, or just J, doing Any% No Major Glitches, the main run of this community, of this game. And so with that being said, I will let y'all take it away, please.
Yeah, I'd really jump to go on that intro. Sorry, I'm Plasmanta. I speedrun this game. We also have Spiders in the call.
Hello. I also might speedrun this game, maybe, possibly.
And we also have Mo in the call.
Yo, yes, I also speedrun the game. You can check all of us out on twitch.tv. I'm sure we have lots of Twitch fans today.
And this is going to be Any% No Major Glitches. Is there anything I need to say before getting into the run?
No, I mean, just give us like a 3, 2, 1 countdown and we can just like go into it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's
Perfect.
go. Good
Yo.
luck, Jay.
Good luck, good luck.
Have fun. God, I love this game so much. This is so good.
Such a cool game. Yeah, I remember everybody being really captivated by the game, and it's got, you have to speedrun the game to get some figure community developed really quickly.
First trick coming up?
Nice.
Nice.
Beautiful.
That's RNG, by the way.
RNG, yep. No guarantees you're gonna get that, but yeah, just you jump in the water and the water pushes you back. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, pretty simple. Now we're just making our way to the M disc, or I guess the real
normal
disc.
Just
There are no
disc,
mock
yes, the real
discs in this run.
No
No.
mock disc. So I guess that's kind of something that's different from the last time we saw Animal Well at GDQ is we skip M disc, which means if we ever have the disc, then we're bringing the ghost dog along with us, right?
Yeah. There are only a few required checks for, or I guess for the disc in general. One of them we're gonna see coming up, and the others we have invented not major glitches to skip
No.
them.
We would never.
They're not major glitches.
No,
weirdly-
minor glitches.
Weirdly,
No
all
fan
of the
list,
disc
it looks
checks are going to be in this seahorse section. So after this, you're never going to see the disc again in this run.
Oh, really?
Yep.
There's actually some movement you can do here to skip turning on the fans, but it's crazy and it doesn't save, that much time, so.
Especially with the dog.
the dog,
And that
it's
movement
crazy.
isn't RNG, but you can think of it like RNG. It's basically RNG. and it's fine.
Picking up the B
based
wand
on-
and immediately doing some infinite bubble jumps with it.
Yep,
Anyone doesn't
showing
know,
off
you
that
can just
bubble
do that.
tech.
Yep, shoutouts.
Yep, spoilers.
Is there any
Maybe
Mario
just
Wonder
that.
fans in chat? This game, the speedrun's basically the same. You do bubble jumps.
Yep, pretty similar. Except the rest of it.
Yeah,
Picking up
except for the
the-
entire game. But that one
Picking up a
aspect.
firecracker there.
Yep.
Is
Picking up a
this Ghost Dog's
firecracker.
movement of like in a slingshot format where like the farther you are away from it, like the faster it'll go?
Yeah, so it's in a
One of my favorite
slingshot
puzzle
format, and it kind of circles you, like you can see in this room, especially if you have the discs thrown out.
Yep.
And its movement
No.
actually isn't random, even though it might seem that.
Another
Yep.
really cool trick there.
Super
Dog will chase the firecracker. So you can see her throwing the firecracker before that room because the dog positions are really bad for that trick normally.
Yeah.
That's real.
Using that, resetting the room to get the seahorse to respawn right where she needs it to be.
And
Pretty
dying to the
good
dog.
time, actually.
Super fast.
Oh, yeah.
That's solid. Yeah, so you saw two things there was the firecracker can be used to distract the dog, but also I think Plaz mentioned that if the disc is out, the dog will try to circle you. So if there's ever a reason why you need to stand still, you can just throw the disc out and the dog won't attack you directly.
Yeah, I will say when I first got into like this game and I saw speedruns of it, I was just like, dang, I wonder how they handle the ghost dog. And I'm just like, oh, they don't. They just it just
play
follows
around.
them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You saw
our
her a
friends.
couple of rooms ago throwing the firecrackers to make the mice heads change direction and hit a button. That is something
Yep.
that we're going to see again later in a much worse room.
Yep. In the room
Love
you
it,
saw
love
it in,
that.
it's actually fine, but yeah, coming up it won't be. Speaking of things that aren't fine,
Yes. Welcome everyone. Remember the ostrich from your casual
Oh,
playthrough.
this
I'm
ostrich that I
sure.
hate.
yeah.
No, you
This
like
guy
it.
actually avoided the route for no major glitches for like a good year and a half.
Oh, really?
But now he's back with a
Yeah,
vengeance.
for real. Back with a vengeance.
About to pick up maybe the most broken item in this run. Is that fair to say?
I think so.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Definitely another thing, besides skipping M-Disc is there's been so many developments with the yo-yo in the last, even the last 6 months.
Those bubble jumps
Yeah.
are pretty
Yeah.
tight. This is also kind of tight.
Um,
You can reset
perhaps-
the
Yeah,
bird
these birds are
positions.
suggestions.
yep.
You can reset the bird position by going on and off screen again, and then you can just sneak past that one.
Shut up, kangaroo.
That kangaroo that I hate. That kangaroo that I
The
hate.
kangaroo. No, you like it. We all like
All
the
right.
No,
kangaroo.
I hate the kangaroo.
No,
Okay.
what?
I'm
So
I'm a
first of
certified
yo-yo
kangaroo
jank.
hater.
There you go.
Oh, very nice. There's a slightly slower setup, but Jay nailed the fastest version of that.
Yeah. That faster setup was found recently by Genro. Shout out Ro.
Shout out,
Yes. Did we shout out Ro?
Oh.
The yo-yo
Or shout out
master,
Rose.
the
Spiders, you wanna
MVP
explain
of
this room?
2025, 2026.
Yeah, so she's gonna throw a firecracker here to make these mice hit a button, and then coming up, she's gonna do a very interesting thing to
That's a
hit
pretty good
the
pattern.
button.
That was a great cycle. Yep.
Oh, let's see. So
Oh,
if you
got it.
noticed, the button in the top right of the screen got hit, even though she was nowhere near that. And the yo-yo is kind of jank in this game, in that when you screen transition, it stays active for a frame. And the yo-yo uses screen coordinates rather than global coordinates to determine where it is. So if you leave the yo-yo out on a previous screen and then screen transition, if there
You're gonna
happens
see
to
it
be
again
a
right here.
button
There it
there on the
Yep.
screen you transition to, it's just gonna hit it.
Yep.
And it's very broken.
Very broken.
Now
Yep.
she's gonna climb all the way up the elevator using these squish clips. If you're just halfway through a bubble, you can just jump through it.
Yeah, and fun fact, you can
Yeah, all
do
the
these
way
through
up.
not moving platforms too, which was kind of recently found.
Oh yeah. Wasn't that found by Ro too?
I think that was
Oh,
found
that
by
was found by
Hans.
Hans, actually, yeah.
Oh.
Shout out Hans as well.
Shout out Hans.
Yeah, shout out Hans.
Hans Himmel.
I will say,
Oh.
when y'all were getting the bottom right flame, I think it's like the green flame, if I'm not mistaken, with the ostrich. One thing that I did in my casual playthrough was pretty much just the speedrun strat with the yo-yo, and
Oh, nice.
I
Nice,
ate both
nice.
buttons at the same time. And I did not
Nice.
realize that you were supposed to do a whole thing and get the wheel there to solve that until after. I feel like that was way too easily manipulated.
Yeah.
Maybe a
I
little.
think that's something that I love about this game is it feels like you're breaking the game, and then you kind of realize it. Maybe Billy knew about that the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
all
if you haven't been
Flame
paying
does.
attention, she has all the flames already.
Yep, 7.5 minutes in, and we are entering hell, sort of the final level, if you want to call
Yeah,
it a
that's
level.
just what we speedrunners call it, hell. I
Yeah.
don't really know why, actually, but
Do you think it's an exaggeration? No, it's like actually
Yeah.
kind of hell.
I guess because it's
It's-
accurate, yeah.
Yeah, it's not heaven for sure.
And
we're
it's
gonna
just
see the
all
newest
yo-yo
trick
tricks.
in the route
Here we go.
now.
This, yeah, I don't. Does somebody else want to explain this one?
So
It's pixel perfect.
This trick is weird. Yeah.
It's
So
frame
these yo-yo
perfect.
clips, yeah, as Mo said, frame perfect and pixel perfect.
Nice.
This one also
go.
looted at us for the longest time because for some reason it depends
Let's
on your
go.
speed too.
Those ones are
And yeah, you
also
can just
pixel
hit all
perfect
these
and frame
buttons.
perfect. That third one's easy, but the first
Yeah,
two
that third
are
one was known about
crazy.
for a long time. But the other
And
two were found
another
relatively recently.
Snuck in, you even missed it because it was so fast. She snuck in another yo-yo wrap right before getting the lantern there.
Kinda fast.
Kind of fast.
Yeah, this is a good pace.
This is a pretty good pace, yeah, heading into Hell 2. The bowels.
They made a
Of course,
second
the
hell?
run
Oh
isn't
my
gonna
God.
get any easier.
Yep.
Now you'll
see a
notice
lot more yo-yo clips.
we're gonna
Yep,
see a lot of
here
yo-yo
comes-
clips, but there's someone that we're not gonna see in this final area.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true. Also,
Is
more
it-
yo-yo robs.
the boss. The
Might be
boss
the
of this
boss.
game.
Wait, boss? Is there a
So,
boss
yeah.
in this game?
Yeah,
Boss,
if anybody
oh, wow, that was
Ooh.
close.
if anybody ignored the spoiler warning, we're still not gonna spoil the final boss for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
true.
animal. Spoilers.
Nice.
Okay.
And final, I think she got trolled by subpixels there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Very
well
nice.
done. Okay.
Perfect.
Pretty good. Yeah, really good run. Well done, Jay.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of it.
That's the
Speedrun
final
Animal
boss.
Well.
It's the squirrel.
you
It's the
know,
squirrel. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
squirrel
the-
right there.
yeah.
Hit that squirrel.
Squirrel. Yep. Join the Discord. We're super nice.
Nice. GG's.
Sub 10. GG's, Jay. Well
GG.
done.
Time. GG.
Well done, Jay.
That was
Yes.
really good.
Everyone should speedrun Animal Well. It's super fun. Now's a great time to get into the game. It's a super exciting time for the meta for sure.
Yeah, lots of
Oh,
developments recently. We also have a speedrunning wiki that some of us maintain in case you
Yo.
want to read up on all these weird tricks that don't make any sense.
Yep. Sometimes
you
we play
all.
Egg Bingo.
That is
Get in
true.
on that.
Sometimes we play egg bingo.
Bingo in this game would go
People
hard.
love
That's true.
bingo. It's pretty
Um,
fun.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for being here, the four of you. It really does mean the world to have you all here on the show. I love this game with my whole heart. I still need to finish 100%ing it. And it is a really, really good game, honestly. And that was a really, really good run. So thank you so much. I'm going to give you all a few minutes here, take the floor to just shout out whatever you all want to shout out, all three of our commentators here. And so, yeah, Osmanta, if you want to go first.
Oh, I mean, I think we did most of them during the run, but shout out Ro, shout out Hans, shout out the Discord, shout out Billy, shout out Jay for a great run. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Wonderful. Spiders?
I'll just repeat all of the Plaz shoutouts. Again, shout out the wiki too. The wiki is cool. Go check out the wiki. I love the wiki. Shoutouts to Dr. Nugget for creating the wiki. I guess I can also shameless plug. I have a YouTube channel that explains the any % glitched run. Don't watch anything else on the YouTube channel. Just watch that because that will explain a lot of the stuff. Like if you're wondering why discs are the way they are and why I'm hand waving them as RNG, I explain it in all the nerdy detail there. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right, yes, of
Nice.
course, you and Mo.
Yep, I speedrun the game. I speedrun every category, all the silly little category extensions. So check me out at Twitch at Mo_Momo. Check out Jay as well. JACMT Twitch is her handle. And join the Animal Well speedrunning Discord. It's such a fun community. We're all super nice. And we will be nice to you. You should come hang out with us. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Ozmourn, too. Thanks for hanging out.
And thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank
having
you,
us.
of course. Thank you all so much for being here. And thank you, chat here, for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this run as much as I enjoyed hosting it. It really is a good game. Y'all should go buy it. And I'm sure that it's on sale with the Steam Summer Sale right now as well. With that being said, we will be right back with the last run of the night. It's going to be Super Metroid. Of course, how can we not have a Metroidvania episode without, of course, one of the two halves of the title here, Super Metroid. We're gonna have that with Chinese Zenny, the world record holder of Super Metroid, with us here. So we're gonna be. Hello, everyone. My name is Ozmourn. I hope y'all have been having a wonderful, wonderful night. We just saw a wonderful run of Animal Well, and before that, an amazing run of Hollow Knight Silksong, 80% Hitless, with Upper Castrol and JACMT with Animal Well earlier. And of course, don't forget the amazing episode of Perilous Paths we saw earlier. Once again, shout outs to Judy and Zello for that amazing run that Zello did for his birthday, too. Absolutely amazing stuff to start off our night. And to close off our night, again, we had some 2D Metroidvania action here on the Scenic Route, and we're going to continue it. But before I do, I just want to say happy Hug Holiday Day. Please go give someone a hug while you watch this episode of the Scenic Route. Make sure that you are truly celebrating this day. Okay, but with that being said, that's enough yapping for me. We're going to get to the run here. That is Super Metroid here by Shiny Zenny. Of course, how could you not have 2D Metroidvanias without, of course, one of the two halves of this acronym, Super Metroid here. And so please put your hands together for Shiny Zenny here. I tried to say give it up for, and my mind just could not get it out. So with that being said, give it up for Shiny Zenny here. Please, Shiny Zenny, take it away.
Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, so I am Shiny Zenny. You just call me Zenny. Speedrun Super Metroid. Today I'm going to be doing any percent, no major glitches. This here is Desi.
Yeah, I am Desirect. You may or may not remember me from SGDQ 2011 and 2012, where I ran 100%. I'm going to be joining Zenny here as we make our way through the Scenic Route.
Yeah,
Super Metroid.
So yeah, he is here in person in my house. Yes, he brought his family to come visit me because he's awesome. We're trying to recreate some of those old school GDQ, like just hanging out in the basement vibes. So anyway, should be a good time. That being said, I think I'm ready to start the run. So if we're all good, I'll just count us down and we can.
Yes, we are. Go ahead.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck and have fun.
Thank you very much. So this is Super Metroid, game you've probably never ever seen at a GDQ, of course.
Nah, what is this game?
Already starting with glitches, by the way.
Yeah, so
never heard
I
of it before.
The Scenic Route is supposed to be, not doing very many glitches. That is one thing that I wanted to kind of clarify. So we are going to be doing some glitches.
Just not major ones.
Just no major
As a
glitches,
treat.
Yeah.
So kind of the way that is distinguished in Super Metroid is major glitches would constitute going out of bounds, corrupting the memory, just major things, right? So some of the minor glitches we're going to be doing, I did something called a moonfall there that uncaps Samus's fall speed. We use that at a few points in the run to fall really fast. We'll be doing a glitch called Spike Suit, which lets us store a shine spark to use whenever we want. Trying to think of, other glitch circumstances.
So named for Spike Vegeta, of course.
Of course.
But the famous Super Metroid player, yes.
But yeah, so today we're going to be doing any percent, Phantoon first. The boss order acronym is generally PRKD. I might actually switch that to PKRD depending on how the run is going and things like that. Yeah, my Squirtle lamp, it's actually like an LED wall sign thing. It's pretty cool. And then I have a Samus helmet back here, and then a little like screen here with little animated Samus thing there. But yeah, we're hanging out. We're gonna have a good time. So
I have a small question when it comes to like the formatting of the leaderboard for this game. Of course, usually when it comes to like glitched or glitchless categories, folks have like the any percent run, like the normal any percent run, and then they have NMG or glitchless. That's like, of course we're gonna ban the glitches. But I know on the Super Metroid leaderboard, it's like any percent, which is the run we're doing right now. Of course, we have NMG on the screen to kind of clarify to the audience. But of course, right now on the leaderboard, it's just any percent, which is this run. And then it goes to any percent glitch, which is like an 8-minute long run. Kind of why is that kind of like the formatting here? What kind of attracts folks to this run
that's a very
versus
interesting
like
question.
true any percent?
So that's a very interesting question, and we were actually having a conversation about this earlier. How it seems most of the other video games have gone with any percent being no restrictions, whereas our default any percent is no major glitches. And one of the things that I think might have led to this, first off, I don't know if my memory's failing me or not, but I believe Super Metroid is the origin of the term any percent to begin with. There was the 100% run, and then there was the...
Yeah, no, that's right. You're right.
And so for Super Metroid, any percent for the longest time, for a decade, this was the fastest we knew how to do it. It just happened to not involve glitches because there weren't any particularly advantageous glitches other than the Zevatite glitch.
Makes sense, yeah.
And so once out of bound, memory corruption, once that was figured out how to reproduce on console, that was something that many of the runners at the time, Garrison, MSDS, DBX, myself, we weren't terribly interested in pushing that very far. I mean, I remember Ivan did a few good runs and stuff. I think he had the any percent glitch record for a little bit, but for the most part, the community just wasn't interested in that kind of run. We like playing the game. So,
yeah.
You liked taking the scenic route.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The scenic route. Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Yeah.
It's what this show's all about.
So yeah, that's kind of why. Personally, I prefer it that way. Drewski made a really good point in chat, which is, I think he said, I can see it here actually. The reason that this game is so phenomenal as a speed game is because we didn't make major glitches the main category. It's not that the glitched runs are less interesting or less impressive or anything like that, but a lot of the charm that comes from the Super Metroid speedrun is actually inherently in just the way that the game plays, the way that you move Samus, things like that. So,
and also it results in a run that is much more parsable for the casual viewer.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, we just took out Bomb Chorizo. We did not skip Bomb Chorizo because that's not realistic for humans to do. So if you've ever seen a task and it just skips Bomb Chorizo, we don't do that.
It's not really a glitch. It's just also not really possible. Like, it's not really possible.
I think I messed up.
We could talk to Drewski about that, I guess.
Yeah, Drewski in chat is famously the only human to ever legitimately skip Bomb Chorizo. And that's because it involves arm pumping frame perfectly every single frame. So that's 30 presses per second. Give me missiles, please. Thank you.
and then you got to win the coin flip at the end as to whether you actually make it out the door.
Yep, and then it's a 50-50 after all that.
Oh my god.
It's pretty bad. So yeah, we don't actually even allow that on the NTSC version of the game. You can do it on the PAL version, the European version, as Technomagus said. But that's not a real category. It is a real category. It's just a much slower category because the European version is much slower.
You know what? I've done a BT skip on NTSC console before. I was using the PAL ROM, but it was an NTSC console.
That's actually pretty impressive. It's hard to do it at 60 frames per second, even on PAL. So
I used an ASCII pad.
Oh. With turbo. Okay, gotcha.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if anybody else has any questions, I do have chat up here. We can see it. We can respond. I'm not very good at on-the-fly commentary, and unfortunately, I didn't have a ton of time to like rehearse. But I love talking about the game, so we're just here to chill.
Let's talk about Chabo's point here. Glitch runs of this game are severely underrated, even among active runners. Just about every runner who ends up loving glitched runs started out being like, meh, not interested until they actually tried it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's wrong at all. That's the great thing about this game is there's so many cool ways to play it that, you know, what works for me, what works for Zenny may not work for you. It's also really hard to understand, even if you know the game pretty well, what exactly is happening in a glitched run. I did watch, I actually don't remember whose run it was. That was like the latest glitch world record.
It was Drewski.
It was Drewski, okay. I wanted to say Drewski, and I'm like, not sure if it was Drewski's or not. And a great run, but, you know, about 4 minutes in, it's like, okay, so Samus is in the background, moving around, something is happening, and, you know, suddenly we have X-Ray. And, you know, it's just hard to...
You can't understand what's going on
without having played the game.
Yeah, having played it or researched it or whatever. Yeah. Yep.
You want to have it to be more digestible to people who are watching it, you know?
Right.
Absolutely. Whoa. So those slugs down there do a lot of damage. So I'm really glad that I didn't get hit by by that right there. But
when did the first skip of Spore Spawn happen? As soon as people figured out how to mock ball. So the mock ball, and this would be prehistory as far as I know, because my history starts around 2003, when Red Scarlet and Smokey were the best players of the game, and mock ball was already pretty well known by that point.
Yep, we've been skipping Spore Spawn for a long time.
Yeah. I started doing like casual speedruns in college, and I remember, I think a lot of the discussion was happening on the GameFAQs boards. This was how far back in time that was. I don't even know if GameFAQs. Well, I mean, I guess they do still have boards, but. Let's see. That's right, Techno. Since I'm not running, there won't be any donation. It used to be a 10-cent donation, but that was over a decade ago. So I guess inflation has raised that to 35 cents every time a blue door is super. I don't think. I think if you super a blue door, it's like run over, right? Like we just don't have enough ammo for you to be supering willy-nilly.
All right, I'm gonna focus on Phantoon here for just a second. We're gonna try to do a 1 round. I really doubt it's gonna happen, but you know. We didn't get enough missiles, so that's all right. Maybe we can still pull off a 2 round.
As long as we win the fight.
That was bad. All right. Marathon Phantoon. That's just how it goes. I mean, I'm not surprised at all by this outcome, honestly.
Yes, this has absolutely happened before.
Well, that's the opposite of the thing.
I know.
So yeah, ideally we would have cleared Phantoon in 1 round. That involves 15 frame perfect missiles and then a super missile. So it's pretty difficult. 2-round would have been great as well. 3-round is fine. I mean, if this were a real like attempt at a speed run, I'd just be resetting here, but that's not what we're doing today. We're chilling, having a good time. We're taking the scenic route, as was already said. So that was not the strat either. But that's also okay.
It was a fast mid slow. We got to see all the patterns. Scenic Route.
So yeah, normally we would fight Fantoon second. For anybody who doesn't know that, the intended boss order in this game is Kraid first, then Fantoon, then Dragon, and then Ridley. We did Fantoon first because if you come here first, you don't have to backtrack later.
We didn't use any glitches to get here. We just did some clever bomb jumps.
Yep.
Which bomb jumping horizontally in this game is not intuitive at all. It's not like Zero Mission where you can just bomb jump wherever you want and the game will kind of like do it for you. Or you know, some of the other I guess kind of newer Metroid games where you know the game assists you in that sort of way. In this game, the bomb physics are very, very precise with regards to your position relative to the bomb. Your momentum changes, like you have to let go of the D-pad in the middle of doing that horizontal bomb jump. Even though you're still moving, it's just very, very unintuitive.
Yeah, and then if you don't turn around, so what's interesting is when Samus is in ball form, she's still facing a certain direction. If you don't turn around for that last bomb, it'll propel her one direction, and then she'll actually kind of like bounce back, and then you'll just fall in the water. So you have to like turn around in the ball and have it move her across. There's a lot of really cool, like, I like to call it invisible tech in this game, where if you're watching and you don't know what you're watching, the runner's probably doing something very specific or very difficult, and you have no idea.
Honestly, if you've never played Super Metroid and you've seen a speedrunner play, you probably think wall jumping is very easy. But if you've ever seen a blind player trapped in the Etecoons...
Happens a lot.
Yeah.
Happens a lot. And it happened to a bunch of us when we were kids, too. Because there's a save station down there. So you go down there, you save, and then you can't escape. Because you don't know how to wall jump.
Yep. Or even space jumping. Space jumping is a real weird one. Later Metroid games, you can space jump whenever you want. In this game, you have to have a certain falling speed. If you're going too fast, like you waited too long after the jump, you can't space jump again. If you try and do it too early, you can't space jump again. So it's very, again, counterintuitive.
So, in true marathon fashion, we have better resources right now than I have had in months for real runs.
I mean, you spent so long farming 15 times.
But yeah, we almost never have 10 supers here, but we do for this run. So we were able to skip a farm there to go a little faster. We're a little low on power bombs, but we should be okay. And then missiles and energy are totally fine for this part of the run.
Techno, no comment on that.
What was the question?
Oh. He said, I didn't learn how to wall jump in SM until Drusef's Disaster Piece redesign.
Oh. You have feelings about redesign? You have some feelings?
I mean, it's one of the ROM hacks of all time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So recently-ish, I played a ROM hack called Super Metroid, But I Hate You. And one of the things that ROM hack does is it takes some of the redesign physics. And I remember I was just raging about how bad the physics felt. And people are like, yeah, you never want to play redesign then. So, yeah.
So what he's saying is if you buy enough bits.
Okay. Let's not get that started. Yep. So this segment, so we just entered Norfair, and what's really interesting about the Upper Norfair segment is that you're not really in any danger of dying at this part of the run. Like it's not dangerous, it's not super difficult in that sense. But in the speed run, this is actually probably the hardest segment to not lose time. There's just a bunch of little things that can happen that waste a lot of time, or like extra farms that you need to do, or like all sorts of stuff like that. So like in my splits, the split name for this is easy segment, and I named it that way on purpose because it definitely is not, even though it looks like it is. And I think any of the main runners in chat will absolutely agree with that.
Don't mind if I read out an
general...
announcement real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Actually, finish your thought first, and then I'll do it.
No, go for it. It's fine.
All right, no worries at all. I just wanted to let folks know, if you want to catch up on past GDQ Hotfix shows and marathons, you can do so at youtube.com/gamesdonquick. If you're watching this on YouTube, hi, hello. Consider liking, subscribing, or becoming a channel member to support GDQ. And a lot of stuff, well, this next week is going to be a bit weird on the YouTube, only because GDQ is next week, so you're going to be seeing a lot of those VODs being uploaded. But of course, after that, you'll see a lot of VODs such as these up on our YouTube as well. So with that being said, straight back to the run here. I am curious, Zenny, is Super Metroid speedrunning something that maybe you have been with for years, and like, is Super Metroid something that you grew up with, or do you think it's something that you just kind of stumbled on later in life?
Yeah, I can definitely speak to that. So I first played Super Metroid as a kid. I was probably about 7 years old. I'm 37 now, so it's long enough ago that I couldn't tell you exactly. It's probably 94, maybe 95 when I played it. And I just fell in love with the game. Just the way that it was designed, and there was a really interesting thing that happened at that age where I was playing the game and I realized, like, oh, if I learn how to bomb jump well enough, I can go places that I'm not supposed to be able to yet. And that was kind of the beginning of my interest in quote-unquote speed running as a whole, even though that wasn't technically a thing yet at the time. I just really fell in love with the idea of sequence breaking, right? So I have been playing Super Metroid more or less my whole life since I first played it. And in like 2004 or so, I stumbled across Red Scarlet's 100% run on Speed Demos Archive, and I fell in love with it even more when I saw the real, quote-unquote, real speedruns, right? So I started just trying to copy those and like figure out how to do stuff. That's back then is like when I learned how to mock ball and how to like shine spark across to wrecked ship to get there without grapple beam and things like that. But yeah, so I mean, I've been doing this for a long time at this point. I didn't start streaming speedruns until 2017. And ever since then, I've been doing it just very regularly. There were years where I was doing it every single day. That isn't the case anymore, but I still play it a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't remember if I answered every piece of your question there, so.
No, you did, for sure. I appreciate it.
Yep. So I've worked really, really hard on this game. As of right now, I have the any percent world record. It's an extremely, extremely good run. For some reason, I am still trying to beat it again. And I know I can do it. That's the thing. But it is like, that's not because it's not good enough or anything like that. It's just there have been some developments to make the run a little faster if everything goes well. I'm going to focus here for just a second.
No worries.
All right. And then the other aspect there is that the record that I got was about 1.5 years ago. And the in-game time on that record is 27 minutes flat and 56 frames. And I really, really want to get a 26. So that's kind of why I'm still pushing it. But yeah, you know, it's at the end of the day, like the reason that I'm still playing this game is because I love it, because I'm having fun. And the moment that stops, you know, I'll have to rethink that. But hey, Desi, what's this room called?
This is the worst room in the game.
It's the actual name of
That
the
is
room.
the
that
government
community
name of
is-
this room.
The government name. So, why did you guys call it that back in the day?
I thought that was self-evident. It was the room that. See, I didn't find as much of a problem with it because I was a 100% player. I had Screw Attack by the time I got into that room. Garrison and MSDS, the guys who named almost every room in the game, decided, hey, this room is really bad in any percent. This is the worst room in the game, and that's all they ever called it, and that's all it will ever be known as.
Every room in the game does have a name from the community, which is really cool. It helps us talk with each other about which room we're talking about, et cetera, et cetera. That's one of the things that I've always found to be kind of charming there. I just made a decision on the fly right here to save some energy instead of go fast there. So, you know.
So we have a very difficult fight coming up.
Yeah, we're coming up on the Ridley fight, and the Ridley fight's really interesting because it is very difficult. When it goes according to plan, it doesn't look that dangerous, but it can go off the rails really fast, and then it can get very dangerous in that situation. So, all right, we're also entering with full ammo here, which also never happens. Okay, whatever. Marathon luck, dude.
5x, do it.
Oh, okay. All right, so we got 2 X factors there.
Well, you got 1 particle hit by a tail.
Okay. Do you feel equipped to talk about that, Desi?
Just about the fight in general?
Yeah, just X factors and
so the X factor. This is interesting tech that I think Red Scarlet originally brought into the 100% run, and then we started using. No, I don't even think she did that. Anyway, so it's called a special beam attack, or SBA. We gave all the SBAs names. The X factor is pretty obvious. You get 4 plasma. We get 4 wave particles, come in an X. Each particle does 300 damage to Ridley. Ridley normally takes 600 damage from super missiles, so each X factor is equivalent to 2 supers for just the cost of a power bomb. If you can hit him with all 4. Ridley's tail doesn't take any damage though. It basically just exists to make the fight an absolute pain.
That feels like, I feel like Ridley's tail should definitely be taking damage there, but that's just me.
Yeah, so normally we would not grab that energy tank after Ridley. But again, you know, this run isn't like super amazing. We're kind of taking this casually. We're chilling out. And this part of the run is actually really, really dangerous under normal circumstances because the enemies hit really hard. And if I did not grab that energy tank, we'd be looking at probably 2, maybe 3 hits away from death. And there are some enemies here that sometimes just do whatever they want. And, you know, I just wanted to play it safe. So here you go, Desi. I got the speedball for you. And then I immediately messed up because that's how it goes.
It's only because you turned to gloat.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Yep, so the enemies in this room are called key hunters. We're doing some manipulation in the way that we're moving here to try and move them out of our way. I kind of messed that up a little bit, so yeah. So that's 50 damage right there. Which, again, if we didn't have the extra energy tank, I'd be kind of nervous here. So I'm really glad I grabbed that.
Now, question for you. So you're not getting the E-tank after Botwin, right?
I will consider that when I get there. The thing about that is that I don't need it in terms of energy, but we might need ammo anyway. And if we do, it kind of makes sense to just grab it. Because otherwise, we're not going to be saving that much time by skipping it. Because
Right.
we still have to farm, so.
So Super Metroid's drop system is very polite, put it that way, it never drops anything you don't need. So if you're full on energy, all you'll ever get is ammo drops.
Or nothing.
If you're full up on super missiles, you won't get super missile drops. Yeah, or nothing. Typically missiles will
nothing
expand
works,
to fill the drop table. Super missiles and power bombs will be the same drop rate always. But if you're full up on health and you need missiles, you're more likely to get missiles because they'll start to fill in the drop table. Similarly, if you are low on energy, the game will give you lots of energy. And it'll give you energy until you get back up above 50.
Yep. So we are finally heading to Kraid. Under normal circumstances, in a casual playthrough, Kraid would have been dead a long time ago. Since Ridley's already dead.
I don't know. Do you think a casual player would have got to Kraid by this point?
Well, I mean, in terms of minutes, that's not really what we're talking about, though, right? We're talking about the route. We're talking about the scenic route, right? So.
Exactly. Yeah. You're right. Roll credits.
Roll credits.
Should take the Forgotten Highway back from Dragon then.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was the thing.
What's our estimate? 45? We could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is now a 100% map run.
So I'm actually
is there
shooting
a specific
in the floor
category
here.
that you prefer? Oh, no, go ahead.
So I was shooting in the floor because there's some projectiles that float around down there, and when they do that, they cause lag. So by shooting through the floor, we killed those projectiles, which reduced the lag in that room. Sorry, what was your question?
No, I was going to ask, is there a specific category that you think you focus on more, or maybe have a favorite or towards it? Maybe it's 90%, maybe it's a different run.
So 100% is definitely my favorite. That being said, I haven't played it in a couple years. There are some reasons for that. They're not super important. It's definitely still my favorite, though. The cool thing about Hundo is there's so much expression to the movement in this game, and Hundo has the most movement because, I mean, you're getting all the items and everything.
Yeah.
So it just
100%.
inherently has a lot of really, really cool movement tech in it, and that's my favorite part of the game. So, yeah. But any percent is really cool, too. Something interesting about my personal relationship with any percent is that I wasn't really interested in it until a few years ago. And it's not that I hated it, but I just kind of, like, it just wasn't my preference. And then, I don't know, like, there...
at any percent. I mean...
Yeah, it's true. There just came a point... Dude, I almost bonked there again. I don't know. There was a tournament in 2022, an any percent tournament, and I had been running the quote-unquote old or classic route of any percent when that tournament was happening. And I decided that, I wanted to compete in a serious way for it, and so I kind of de-rusted this like world record route category, and during that tournament is actually when I became more invested in any percent as a whole, which is really interesting. So,
by the way, the previous any percent route, I don't want to say perfected, but Zost put out an ungodly run. It was his 4408, and like this run was just so very well technically executed, so tight, and then Behemoth demonstrated this new route, and it was like just a minute and a half faster, just because of being more efficient, fewer room transitions, fewer items collected. It was just such a huge difference in terms of, and so when he says like he needed to learn the route to become more competitive, like there's no exaggeration there. Like over a minute on the table just by not switching the route.
Yeah.
Yeah, one really interesting thing about those two runs that Desi just referenced, and this isn't to disparage Behemoth at all, he's an amazing player and probably the most consistent speedrunner that we've had in this game. But Behemoth's first run of this route, if you compare it to the Zost run that Desi was just referencing, Behemoth's run was a lot less optimized. Like, it wasn't nearly as clean, but like Desi said, it was way faster, and that was just because of the routing optimizations that came along with it. So,
no, exactly.
All right, so this is a glitch called Spike Suit. So I more or less frame perfectly, unmorphed, and then performed a jump action. And what it did is it made like an overlapping thing in the code happen where now we can use the Shine Spark here instead of having it run out like it would have. Normally when you charge a Shine Spark, it runs out in 3 seconds. When you execute the Spike Suit glitch, you can hold on to it for as long as you want. So that's one of the main, like, the biggest glitches in this category is that one right there.
Prior to the Spike Suit being found, that Shine Spark, like, storing a Shine Spark there has always been possible at Dragon. If you noticed, when Dragon died, Zenny still had a blue suit. And
as if I still had a speed booster activated.
Right. And so, like, the old runs of RBO would intentionally get that blue suit, not through that means, but through a different means. There's a couple of ways to activate it, and then carry that blue suit to get out of Dragon without the gravity suit. Nowadays, of course, much better and faster ways have been found. There's a really cool grapple jump. Grapple's another item that you don't get in this run. Like, grapple's one of my favorite items in this game.
It's a great item.
So many uses for it that aren't immediately apparent. Like, it one-shots any enemy that's smaller than Samus. Just about.
Pretty
Dang, it's wow.
Yeah.
So Drewski just said in chat, sick mock. So this is a perfect example of sometimes runners do things that, like, you don't realize how difficult they are. I accidentally, and I mean that literally, I accidentally did a mock ball in one of those rooms there. I have tried to do that intentionally before, and I have never succeeded. But somehow, for whatever reason, I just happened to accidentally do a mock ball right there in this run. So that's pretty funny. Anyway.
That's right, we did forget the highway.
One of my favorite things about this game, if you look at these gems coming out of the statues, when they splash into the water, you can actually see the splashes in the water. And that is just so cool to me that the developers took the time to put that attention to detail. There's so many little things like that in this game that, like, you just wouldn't even think about it. And for a game from 1994, it's just insane that they took the time to do that. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Turn Samus to the right.
Yeah.
Notice that her sprite isn't a mirror of when she's facing left. Like, her arm cannon's on the right arm, left arm resting on the cannon.
All right, so we turned our beams back on here because Ice Beam makes the Metroids sad, and it helps us go faster here. So I could, try to kill them very slowly with power bombs and make this run longer, but we're not going to do that today. One thing to note is that in order for us to even finish this run, we have to have enough ammo. And so we need at least 10 missiles and 9 supers when we're done with these rooms. We should be fine based on this count that we have right here, but that is one thing that has been an issue for runners in the past going through this game. So all right, and then we're coming up on the baby Metroid here. If you remember the baby Metroid from the very beginning of the game, Ridley stole it, took it away, and we've been searching for it this entire time so that we can save it and go watch TV. Just, chill with the baby Metroid, have a good time. Unfortunately, it got big and scary, so.
Dang.
Speaking of ammo, though, like those strats that you use to gather the Metroids, we never did anything like that back in the day because we just collected more ammo. Like you'd have any percent records with 30, 35 missiles, 15 supers.
Yep.
And you would still have players run out of ammo at the end because a super missile got sniped by the little turrets outside of Mother Brain.
I am also wondering what the deal is with saving the animals or not. Is that a thing that we're considering, or if I'm
You
not
can do it. You can do it.
forced,
We can do polls.
if I'm not forced to save the animals, I cannot save the animals, or my wife will make me.
Fair.
My wife will make
That
me
is
sleep on
fair.
the couch. So, but yeah.
That is understandable.
So this is Mother Brain. Since we didn't grab Plasma Beam, we have to do 60 shots. I'm gonna focus here. I mean, we can talk or whatever, but I do need to count, so.
No, completely. Like, if you need to focus, do not worry about it at all. This is an intense fight. Of it.
It always is. I just don't want to, you know.
No, I get you. I'm holding my breath too.
I would say it's much more tense and low percent.
Okay, so after 46 shots, Mother Brain does that red beam attack. We call that catch-up. Or she can, excuse me. She can always do any of her attacks, but after 46 shots, she's much more likely to use that red beam. If we get hit by that red beam, we're dead. So,
well, you did get the extra tank.
So, well, yes, but even then,
sometimes it does 2 tanks, sometimes it does 1.
Yeah. So yeah. So getting hit by that would have been really bad. And then in this fight specifically, she decided not to fire a red beam until like shot 51. So I'm sitting there like waiting for it to come out. She keeps doing other stuff. But yeah, we're good. So at this point, there's no real danger left. It's just a matter of waiting for this cutscene and then doing the escape sequence. So
I will say, if you decide to save the animals, I will have to take off my headphones and look away.
I won't be saving the animals. Not doing that.
No worries. You can do however you wish. But again, thank you so much to both of you for being here for me this run. While we're doing the escape sequence, I want to do any shout outs real quick.
Yeah, please.
I think he's asking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shout-outs.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously, shout outs to GDQ for hosting me doing this. Thanks for the invitation. I hope everybody else had really good runs. Unfortunately, I was only able to lurk a bit. Shout out to Desi for, driving out here. He drove the past 2 days to come visit me and my family, so I really appreciate that.
It's true. We drove 2 days so I could do this and then straight back.
Well, okay. That's not the truth, but we'll just pretend, okay.
GDQ is that important to me.
Huge shout out to the Super Metroid community in general. We have a really, really amazing community. There are so many amazing people in our community. We're always happy to help new runners learn the game. All of the top runners are always trying to help each other improve the game. Like, it's really magical, to be honest. I don't use that word like lightly. It's a very magical place to be. Additionally, I mean, this is a little bit more like personal for me, but the Super Metroid community has actually made me a better person, and I'm really grateful for that. Like, anyway, it's awesome. I don't know who else to shout out. Shout outs to my wife, Sassy Zenny, for being supportive and letting me do this, and Desi's wife for letting him do the comms. And shout out to Drewski for being in chat and being super humble. He'll never admit this, but like he's the best like Samus mover that we have. He's incredible. So if you want to see somebody stream Super Metroid and move Samus really fast and really well, definitely follow him. And last shout out, I guess it would be to Zost, who was the one who inspired me to start like grinding this game super hard. It's been really awesome. So we missed the echoes there. That's too bad. That's time, by the way. So yeah.
GG. Thank you so much for that amazing run, Zenny. That really meant the world, and I know people in chat really loved it. I hope y'all did too. But yeah, before we head out, I let Zenny do his shoutouts. Desi, do you want to do any shoutouts as well?
I just had it, and then I totally forgot.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, no. I had something in my head, and then it was like, and gone.
No worries.
Yeah. Shout outs to Deer Force.
That's a good shout out.
All right. Carry on.
Awesome.
Oh, is that all?
I'm really happy with this time. I said yesterday, I think it was yesterday on my stream, if I managed to get a 41 at all, I'd be super happy. As far as I know, there's never been a 41 at any GDQ event at all. So this time is actually really, really good, especially considering the mistakes that happened and the Fantoon stuff and whatever.
And
so
extra items. And...
yeah.
No, I totally get you.
Awesome time. So.
But yeah, thank you both so much for being here. It really does mean the world. And again, thank you so much to everyone over there in Twitch chat that really took the time out of their day to be here for this episode of the Scenic Route. This is the last episode of SGDQ. Our next episode is going to be all the way until July 20th. However, I am going to be hosting a special that I'll be able to talk about soon. But with that being said, we will be back on July 20th. I'm going to try and plan some rhythm games for y'all, and so I hope y'all can tune in for that if y'all love this show. This episode is absolutely amazing. Again, we saw a hitless run of Hollow Knight, Silksong, Animal Well, which is one of my favorite games of all time, Super Metroid, a classic that is included, of course. How could you not include it in an episode like this? But with that being said, these runners, JACMT, Shiny, Zenny, and of course Upper Casserole, all three of them were absolutely amazing. Please go follow them all if you like the content that you saw here. And of course, please tune in tomorrow. Well, first of all, if you missed out on Perilous Paths or the Scenic Route, you can watch them both coming up here at the replay right after this break. But of course, tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for Random Number Generation by Skybills. And of course, at 10 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have Game Masters by Kiara. And make sure you watch the rest of Hotfix this week. We only have 2 more days of shows because we're going to be prepping for travel to SGDQ in Minneapolis, Minnesota on Sunday. So please stay tuned for that. Register if you haven't already. And yeah, I will see y'all around. I'll see y'all July 20th. If you're going to be at SGDQ, please come say hi to me and tell me that you like the show, because I would love to hear it. With that being said, I hope y'all have a wonderful, good rest of your night, and I will see y'all around. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.